Oof.
You got Marcos.
That's not.
Wait.
Yeah.
That's true. You do got me.
Get over here, Marcus. Let me look
Hey.
at
They don't want it.
Tobin and Leroy, ready to deploy. Had to hit it with a little journalism, but that was a decoy. Better have about me, boy. Okay. Leroy and Tobin, hold to the show, man. Still on the sauce with the show, and till then his half moon open. Sometimes go taste like a snowman. No proof I'm alive by the motor. No proof. Like I always wanted him, I never hated him, I never traded him, and if I did, I never ever traded him. You know what is a star? Like another city, the driver's side Flagg. Wish I could large, so many more. 10 in the more, never a bar. 8, 10 in the more, 2 to the P. Nothing to you, but it's something to me. Handsome as ever and cute as can be. You can watch it on YouTube with view for free. Ay. This one time for the Twitch. This one time for the text. This one time for the phone line. Whole time wonder what they gonna do next.
You know, I just wish you guys would stop the quibbling.
You never make a Slovenian cry.
Oh,
You
man.
never make a Slovenian cry.
Let me
dude.
tell you something.
You don't do it.
I was excited to see the game just to see how it will play out or whatever. And then I'm looking at Luka. Whew. They cutting the onion up in there.
Oh my God, they were cutting up onions. His little puffy cheeks got all red, and and then he just goes out there with the entire building cheering for him.
Oh yeah.
And just slays the poor Mavericks. They got with it.
Look at everybody there. Nobody there was cheering for Dallas.
Nope.
They were cheering for Luka.
Everybody there was cheering for Luka. It's a weird situation. It was a weird situation. Like, normally these returns are, all right, a guy has moved on. He was, the team.
First of all, he
drafted
not
him. He parted
25.
ways.
Not 25.
No, not 25. That
Yes.
never. This is a unicorn in that.
And to sit there and I think the part of it that makes it worse, and here's what I believe happened. The owner went to Nico and said, I don't want to give this guy $370 million. Simple as that.
Well, that owner sucks.
I mean, yeah, but
And
that's the only reason why a GM could show his face when he knows it's not on him.
I also like that Mark Cuban's sitting there with that sour puss on his face because he likes to act like he's Mr. Innocent and all this. Because I would have never done
He
it.
doesn't ever say so.
Sure, okay.
He doesn't own the team.
Yeah, you want to know something? Very convenient.
He doesn't own the team. How is it very convenient? He doesn't own the team. He doesn't own the team.
You shouldn't have sold him to a person who would trade Luka.
Hold on. You sound ridiculous right
No,
now.
I don't.
If
No, I
you
don't.
want to take the money from the sale of the team, then you don't get a say-so in what goes on.
Terrible.
Like, why you?
They actually, he lied because he said that he was going to keep basketball control. He said that. He said that.
Yeah, you can keep basketball control, but guess what? If the owner says I'm not paying him $300+ million,
You need to sit him down and you need to be like, listen.
yeah, okay.
Listen.
Have you met a rich person?
Okay, well, congratulations. They're going to lose
Of course,
billions.
look. It's not a good look.
terrible.
We know that, okay? But part of the issue is we don't know who was the catalyst behind it. And
I think the GM genuinely didn't like Luka. Like I hear that.
yeah, because
but
the way he snatched the beer from him.
that wasn't him, but it was his assistant. Yes.
Right.
Yes. I think there were people there that like didn't love that he was, that he liked to drink and all the stupid things that they threw out there.
Oh, but they overlooked the fact that he's a straight baller.
He's so good. He's so good.
That's
we can't have the
You know
Lakers
what?
here.
I'll give you a perfect example to that.
Hmm?
The last 6 years of Shaq's career, they questioned whether he was in shape.
Yes.
But they would trade their whole roster for him because all that mattered was what he could do on the court.
Hmm?
Luka is I guess that guy wouldn't like Joker either.
Probably not.
Because Joker, when's the last time somebody seen a muscle on Joker?
I don't know, but
Him and Luka are built the same.
he's a monster.
Hey, check this out.
Oh, no,
You know what? Proud of you. Single digits.
Barely.
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 Oh, it's getting ready to change.
Barely. We'll
Yeah.
see if she logs in by
So
single
I
digits.
can't get too mad at Jennifer for this reason.
Hmm?
To my right, my computer's open,
Yeah.
and you know what I'm watching.
I got a feeling it has something to do with beautiful trees.
Hello, friends.
Hello, friends. It is Masters Week
I
officially.
I
Day
can't even
one.
I can't even take him serious. You know why? Oh no, was it Joe Buck that went off on Randy Moss?
Yeah, it wasn't Jim Nance.
It was Joe Buck.
I don't think Jim Nance has really ever gone off on anybody.
No, you know why? Because golf.
The only thing that
He
you
does
could
go.
you could always hear him is he's got to deal with that Tony Romo every week, you know?
Yeah.
Ooh,
is-
Jim.
You know what? There's
How many times do you think Tony Romo's tried to convince Jim Nance that he could win the Masters? It's like, all right, Tony, we get it. You're a good golfer.
You know what's amazing about that?
You can do it,
is
Jim.
when you think of good, like guys throughout the history of sport that you wanted to hear call games or be analysts or whatever, none of them are ever known as being super critical, right? So
Why Joe Buck went that way?
yeah,
I don't know.
without
I
understanding,
know he's had regret over it.
But here's the kicker. It needed context that he didn't have.
Yes.
And once you hear the story, so for example, what we're talking about, Joe Buck went bleep crazy over Randy Moss fake mooning
Yeah.
to Green Bay fans,
Mhm.
right? Randy got fined. He shrugged it off. No big deal. The backstory behind that is, if you're a Minnesota Viking and you go to play Green Bay, when they open the gates for the buses to pull in by the locker rooms, all the fans stand outside the bus and moon you going in. I'm talking about real cheeks. Cheeks you probably shouldn't be looking at, right? Because it's Green Bay. It ain't Astron. It's Green Bay. So the backstory again is that when we pull in every year that I've gone to Green Bay, they open the gate, you pull the 4 buses in. On the way in, cheeks line the bus.
Wisconsin cheeks.
Right. And so
Pale.
if they would have showed the fans in that picture, they were all laughing because it was funny. It's like
still funny.
payback.
It's still
It's
funny.
funny.
I like the term "shoots the moon" too. But
Right,
Collinsworth. It's a
right,
great. He shoots the moon.
Right. So it said, I guess Randy thought it would be better than shooting a bird.
Yeah. Yeah. Headlines here brought to you by Doral Volkswagen. Doral Volkswagen, choose one with 300 new Volkswagen models in stock, like the Tiguan, the Taos, and the Atlas. Remember, when it comes to Volkswagen, the great deals are at Doral Volkswagen. We'll get to the Heat coming up. They lose last night to the Chicago Bulls, 119-111. We'll get to
Goodness.
15 minutes of Heat coming on up. We'll get to it. The Marlins, though, hey, they salvaged the series finale, a 5-0 win over the Mets. Matt Mervis
Will we be,
went deep.
I think if we get to end of May, if they're still right around 500, I would say that's a hell of an accomplishment.
I think already it's look, the Mets obviously a lot of money in that lineup.
Oh yeah.
Not the easiest schedule. They have the Nats this week. I would like to see the Marlins take 2 out of 3.
And the Nats terrible?
I don't know. I don't know.
Wait, you can't just say that.
I don't think of them. I gotta think of it as like they're supposed to be the broke bastards with us.
Wait,
They're 5-7. They're not that great.
It's early.
Whatever.
The Nats, we should take 2 or 3. I said a month ago, you were like, I hope we can win 20 games.
Well, Craig Mish tweeted out the Marlins are 6-6. Last year they were 6-24.
Yeah.
So I tell you one thing though. First of all, Max Meyer, hell of a start to the year, which shouldn't be surprising. He was a top prospect, but had Tommy John, but he took a no-hitter into the 6th yesterday. He's looked good. And this damn outfield.
All of them.
Everybody in this
all of
outfield as a catch of the year candidate already. Griffin Conine, Derek Hill, Dane Myers. I mean, nobody ever talks about this concussion protocol when a guy rams his head into the wall. That couldn't have felt good.
Hey, what was worse? You know they showed the thing where the guy ran through the wall years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, wow. I mean, you know, not for nothing. Isn't that why the warning track is there? To let you know it's kind of like a speed bump?
Sometimes you don't have time for warning. You gotta go catch the ball. I appreciate it from the fish. Laying it all out there.
No, it's been enjoyable. I don't know anybody, but the fact that they've been pleasantly surprising the first.
Sandy should be back, by the way. He's going to be pitching this weekend, so it's not like he's taking some extended paternity leave. So he will start, I believe, Saturday, I think they said.
Yeah. Do you know neither one of us picked Scotty Scheffler?
Yeah, it just felt soft. That's why. And you couldn't make any money on it. That was my reasoning.
All right.
That was my reasoning why I didn't pick Scotty Scheffler. Plus, did he win last year?
Yeah.
Okay. You told me repeat. You told me
back-to-back's rare.
You said it's rare. So.
But let's also remember the guy was coming off of one of the greatest years since Tiger.
Mm-hmm. So we got that. The Pinks. No controversy. They come back.
Yes.
They win.
Where's Dan Day?
Where's Dan?
They won 3-1. So it's over. They had to win by 2.
It was dicey there, though. It took a
glad
while.
that we were able to understand
Had a late.
that.
Wait, I wasn't the only one who thought his explanation was all they have to do is win. I said, no, but they have to win by 2.
Late PK heroics by Messi. So congrats to the Pinks. Moving on to the semifinals in the
semifinals, who do they play?
Champions Cup. I don't know.
In the Champions Cup? You mean that's CONCACAF, right?
Yeah, it's called the Champions Cup.
Is it?
Champions Cup, Triple C.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
I have a paywall on my article. I'll let you know later.
Hey, I'm going to tell you what. When I go on my iPhone and then that first page comes up and they have all these interesting stories and I'll push on it and then it tells me you can have this for $1 a month. I'm like, no. I spend enough for cell service and this damn phone that you ain't going to get me. I say, I don't need to know.
Hunter Sporton says on the chat, every soccer segment comes with a side of confusion. Correct.
It does. Well, let me tell you something. We have navigated through these soccer waters for a while, and we have had some kind of understanding. If we absolutely don't know, then we may bring in a Vlad or somebody like that, right? What Dan Day did to us yesterday, right? I want to file assault and battery charges.
Wow.
Because when I left, when I left, my head hurt.
He felt like he threw.
He thought he was simplifying it.
I was like, whoa.
No, you're not.
Because he was trying, and then you guys were throwing a bunch of questions
No,
at him.
here's what he did.
He was trying to do the math in his head.
When you say,
much.
all the Pinks had to do was win, that's not entirely true.
It wasn't true at all.
You have to win by 2. So whenever that is, you got to win by 2. At the end of the night, whether it's overtime, whether it's whatever, the Pinks have to win by 2.
Yes.
If they don't, so say if the game ended 1-1.
They would have lost because a road
right. But I'm saying
counts more.
If the game would have ended 1-1, would they even play extra time?
I don't know.
Because
please don't ask me these things.
Because technically it'd be over.
Please stop.
Wait.
Search it up right now.
Can you score? So in soccer, here all right, I'm sorry, but it just hit me.
Get to 15 minutes a year.
In soccer, right? Do you play all of the extra time regardless of who scores? You play all of the extra time, right? So it's not like hockey where score, everybody celebrate, game over. You play all of the extra time. So if they would have tied and had extra time, then yeah. Is that not a good question?
Tobin's in pain right now.
Why are you asking me? I don't know.
Look, you're my boy.
What?
Right? If I have questions, that
But he
I'll ask
can't
you questions
answer
about
it.
anything except life. Your life lessons suck. All right. So, and no disrespect, we just on different paths.
What?
What?
But if I have a question, wouldn't it make sense to ask the person that I talk sports with at least 4 hours a day?
Why don't you know?
Tobin's very upset right now.
It's closer to your sport than it is to mine.
How's that possible?
Why? Because it's
And-
intangibles, perhaps?
Yeah.
Is that what you're
And
trying
then
to say?
not in
I
Europe
don't really
differently,
think so.
but here,
You
Yeah.
know I don't like soccer.
okay. All right. Got to tell you.
Hold on. Hey, RVA Richie. Can you put up the phone pod, Brittany? RVA Richie's calling in. Richie, you hear me?
Got you, Leroy.
All right, hey,
Yeah, I
buddy.
hear you.
All right, make it quick, though, dude. I want to
Leroy.
get to the Heat's loser game yesterday.
You got any questions, Leroy? I got you on the side.
Yes.
Come on,
So-
Leroy. hit me.
So we already got over the fact that I was trying to say yesterday that however it ends, the Pinks needed to win by 2 because technically they're already down 1. But
Correct.
my question is, say if it's 1-1 and they play extra time. They play all of the extra time, right? So technically
Yeah.
the Pinks would have to score twice to
Yes,
win.
there's no goal. There's no golden goal. That's what you call the golden goal, is when you win on the, on the.
They don't call
when,
it that.
Yeah.
They don't call it that.
Well, the final goal or the winning goal. Yeah, that's the final goal. Yeah. The golden goal.
Nobody calls it the golden goal. You made that up. There's no way it's
Hey.
called that.
So
Go look it up.
I'm not
So-
looking it up. There's no way. You made that up.
So Richie, no. So
Yes, sir.
Richie, so say the game ended at 1-1,
Correct.
But it didn't.
and then the Pinks scoring is 2-1.
It exists by the
Do
way.
they keep playing? Because
Yeah.
they play
So the
all
time
of
is
the
over?
extra time, right? They play all of the period.
Yep.
Okay.
Because the goal is not to get to penalty kicks.
Okay.
So if they win, if they score, yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. That's it. Thanks.
Thank you. All right. Thank you.
Hey, man, you don't think the people want to know this?
No, I don't actually. I think they want to celebrate the Pinks win, go messy, and just let's. But you,
Wow.
you're
The
like
whole
a
chat is pretty upset. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah.
And
Everybody's
I will say,
furious with
Richie,
you.
I appreciate you
everybody's
calling
upset
in.
with me?
Thank you so
Yes, because
much.
you've stopped this in our tracks with this soccer talk twice, 2 days in a row with your rules, and I'm trying to figure out what are you, Arlo White? Like, are you gonna go broadcast?
No, I'm not the only one that had these questions.
Yeah,
Wow.
perhaps.
You guys in unison both said yes. That can't be good. You guys don't
Oh,
agree
no.
on nothing. You both like,
We're on
wait,
different
when I
levels.
said it, you both did this. I'm like, I'm like,
Take a
okay,
break.
fine. No more soccer until they
you
play
can talk
again.
soccer, but stop asking us rules.
That wasn't a rule. Dude, you know how confusing watching
He
soccer
literally
is
said the golden
with
golden goal.
aggregates and all that stuff. It like you win, but you still move
But
forward.
it doesn't
'cause
seem that
ag-
confusing because you nailed it, and you got mad at Dan Day. But now it's like, now that you know, it's like, nah, not good enough. I need more details.
No,
Well, you did to Dan Day yesterday. You're doing to us again today.
fine.
You've taken us into extra time, and you've ruined the clock.
Time out.
He goes, the whole point was to watch the game and you can figure the rest out. No, I can't.
Did you watch the game last night?
Mm-mm.
No.
Then why are you bearing us down with rules?
Curious.
If you were curious, you'd watch the game.
Did you watch it there?
I wasn't curious.
You're Latino. I thought that's what you guys like.
You're putting me in a category and I don't like it.
I like basketball.
Basketball?
Yeah,
Black
there you go. I think it's time to break.
Well, speaking of, 15 minutes of heat is next. 60 WQAM. As you heard there by the intro, brought to us by our friends over at Hollywood Kia. Miami Heat, they lose last night, 119-111. They have been swept this season by the Chicago Bulls.
By the Bulls.
By the Bulls.
I mean, hell, they beat Boston.
I know.
And they can't get by. There's a couple of teams. First of all, any team with Vucevic on it.
Oh, my God.
It's
I hate him
unbelievable.
so
And now
much.
there's a new menace to the club.
Josh Giddey.
Oh, my goodness. They have to
Josh
stop
Giddey.
Josh Giddey in 4 games.
Josh Giddey getting by willy-nilly. We got beat by Josh Giddey. We got beat by a lot of intangibles yesterday.
Oh,
Bazelis.
there was a
and
point in
then,
time where
old-
I thought that was Indiana basketball right there.
Old Red Velvet, Kevin Herter. Kevin Herter was giving Tyler Herro that work. Intangibles on
The
intangibles
business.
crime yesterday. Bam Adebayo did not look good. Vucevic gave him the business, and Vucevic gave Kalel Ware the business. Vucevic basically got almost as many rebounds as those guys did in the game in one possession on offensive rebounds.
Yeah.
I was very annoyed by it. And the Miami Heat pretty much settled into that 10 spot now, which means that, well, they are settled into the 10 spot. It's just I don't know quite if Atlanta could still fall behind the Bulls technically, which, I mean, that would be great for the Heat because they can't beat Chicago. But yeah, that was a rough performance yesterday, Leroy. A rough performance, which also was highlighted at the end by Tyler Herro. I don't understand it these days. I could hear Tony Fiorentino scream from his couch because Tyler Herro yesterday
Went down and shot an ill-advised 3.
I don't understand it, dude. I don't understand it. You're down 5. Okay. This is not, he's even down 2 going for the win. You're down 5. There's 40-something seconds left.
The one thing you got to do is score.
You have to score 5 points.
Right.
You have to. You got 100% at this layup right there to get yourself. Oh, they're even talking about it on First Take today.
Yeah.
Yeesh. Dude, I don't want to hear about confidence. I don't want to hear about today's day and age. I don't want to hear about open looks. You have to score 5 points. You got money in the bank, and you decide to take it to the casino. I don't understand it. I'm not blaming Tyler Herro for the loss. Thought Tyler played fine. He really made a great play defensively, which I was like, whoa, look at that play.
Hey.
But for some reason, he felt the need to go, clank. And by the way, it's on the fast break, so there's nobody there to get the rebound. So the Bulls get it back. 3-ball, dagger, dead, 10 seed.
You know what he was thinking? He was thinking so many times in this room, where I hear you say it, he's dribbling down, and the Hard Rock Bet app came up, and he went, chili pepper.
I don't understand. Like, you can't win the game there. It's one thing. I was
thinking to myself, great steal, take the layup, let's play some defense.
Let's play some defense, get the ball back. You're going to have time to get the ball back. I hated it in the no. And you want to know something, dude? Even he, immediately after it happened, they pan to him on the bench. He looks at his teammates and he just goes, "That's my bad." Because he knew that was stupid. So I don't want to hear any Twitter debates. This isn't an indictment on Tyler here. Well, maybe it is. This isn't
a bad decision.
It was a horrible decision.
You make bad decisions in life periodically, right? Like it you know what? Here's the saying in sports. Here's what the announcers say to be nice. Except Mike English would have roasted him.
Oh my God.
He'd love to have that decision back. That's what you hear. It's okay.
Here was
it happened. Now, here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
And here's why he shouldn't have took the shot. If he makes it,
you're still down.
You're not any happier because he made it, because you still got to score again. Maybe Tyler was thinking, let me get this 3 out the way, And then
Yeah, I get. I assume so, but also, like, hey, why don't you just say, I got this incredible play that I just made. Here's a 2 points right here. Nah.
because the whole point of getting a steal like that is you don't leave empty-handed.
Right.
Otherwise, it's a moot point. The steal was a moot point. All you did was eat up time.
Luis says Herro just proved he's bad at math. 100%. He either just didn't know the score.
No, I think he knew the score, but again, I was thinking that he's like, we're gonna need a 3 anyway.
Not then.
I know.
Not then.
And I'm here. This happens in football. When coaches decide to go for 2 versus not go for 2. I'm a firm believer you don't go for 2 unless you have to. Right? Because
You don't believe in the chart?
Because here's what happens. If you need to score and make a 2-point play, then score again. And if you need to make 2-point play at the end, that's fine. But if you go for the 2-point play and you don't get it, now you're chasing. So I don't do it until I have to.
We'll get more. I want to hear. We got to take a break. We'll hear from Tyler and Spo coming up here next because I have to understand the mindset of that.
Did you
Take
the questioning last night?
Take a break.
Help me understand.
Take a break. Back after this. All right, welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you. Quickly, let's get to the road to repeat here. Brought to us by our friends over at Celsius. Hockey fans, don't sit this one out. When it's game time, make Celsius a part of your play and get that energy up. Game day is fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks, the official energy drink. Oh,
Your Florida Panthers. I'm telling you, I am caught up in 4 flavors right now.
yeah, you got a good rotation
Galaxy
going, dude.
Vibe, Cola, Cherry Cola, Retro, and Playa.
Panthers will be back at it tonight, taking on the Red Wings. Reading from George Richards from Florida Hockey Now, it seems like Carter Verhaeghe's going to get the night off. Sam Miscavige has been moved to top line. And the interesting news, Aaron Ekblad, we're doing a little skating on the ice this morning. So I don't know what the rules are. Please don't ask me hockey rules. I don't know what the rules are as far as I don't want to dwell on it.
Listen.
I don't want to. You're doing it right now.
Said I don't know the rules means I can't ask you.
Great. But he is skating. He's allowed to come back game 3 of the first round. So that's when he's eligible.
Okay.
That's when he's eligible. So that is your
Not
road to repeat. But I want to get back into the heat. Go ahead. Go ahead. No. Please. I don't want to be rude. Go ahead.
No.
No, you.
I'm gonna ask David.
Oh, what, like you now? He's at practice.
Huh?
He's at practice.
No.
Okay.
You're gonna call him?
Yeah.
I do want to get back into the heat. And Jim Miller, UFC legend, is going to join us in about 15 minutes. He's going to hop on, talk about his upcoming fight. He's on UFC 314. But last night, the Heat got their asses kicked by the Bulls again. And, just what are you going to do? It's Andrew Wiggins. I was told he's a defensive stopper. I haven't seen it, but I was told about that. I don't know. Not that I'm lashing out. Also, Pelle Larsson got hurt in pregame lift. Hey, what are we doing? P90X before the game? What the hell is that? Pregame lift?
I've seen it happen. I saw a guy blow out his knee in college in pregame.
What is that?
Happened.
I need Pelle out there.
Yeah.
I needed defense. I needed somebody to stop their intangibles. And Pelle Larsson gets hurt in pregame lift.
I got to tell you, that was what you call an intangibles outburst.
Woo!
Goodness. And I mean, the 2 guys in Gideon Hurd couldn't look any more.
And then of course, Kobe White's like final 4 minutes of the game. He was, I'm going to hit the most ridiculous shots ever, by the way. Here you go.
Right.
I know I've been keeping you guys in this game with my 1 for 10, but here's like a ridiculous fadeaway where I'm floating over the hardwood. I'm just like, oh my God. But
and we didn't even mention the true Heat killer, Vucevic.
Since he's walked into this league, has tortured the Heat, and he basically said, oh, hey, Bam, Kalel, give me your lunch money. And he took it. He took it from them. Let's hear from the thing that obviously made national headlines. Tyler's going to be on Shaqtin' a Fool. Like it is, and he probably gets the least blame out of everybody who played yesterday because he did score 30. But he had a terrible turnover late where he just fell and then passed it nowhere near Bam. And then this decision where he makes an incredible steal. One of the best steals I've seen Tyler have.
Great. Awesome.
But down 5 is like, let it rain.
He went down the court like Leroy Jenkins.
Oh my God. He goes to the bench. He goes, my bad. Yeah, you're bad, dude. But here was Spo after the game on his call. This is what he had to say about Tyler's decision.
Everything was happening so fast. Here's what I'll say is, Tyler has a fearlessness that you can't take for granted. He had so many big shots. He wants to, take on anything, to help you win. And he's had a lot of big plays, offensively, especially in fourth quarters in his time with us. And it's my job now to also coach him in situational basketball. It was still a 2-possession game, and regardless, we were going to have to get a stop. And it was set up to be, probably a decent 2-for-1 opportunity. But he's got a kill mentality. That wasn't a kill opportunity, at that point. And that's why, I love Tyler for his fearlessness. I also love him for his coachability, and it's my responsibility as the head coach to coach him through, situations, like this.
Yeah. Well, first of all, like if you ever watch Erik Spoelstra's reactions to Tyler Herro ill-advised threes, you can imagine there's a lot of turning and side eye and exhaustion and punching the air. I don't even know. Here's Tyler Herro on his decision yesterday. This was Boy Wonder after the game.
I was feeling that shot. Simple as that. It's a shot I was feeling. Looking back at it now, obviously missing the shot. I should have laid the ball up, but at the end of the day, I believe that I can make that shot. I believe in myself, and I'm gonna live and die by that.
But
if I may,
please,
that's all fine and great. We don't need your overconfidence after failure and understanding where this team was. Now, I will say this. The reason why I didn't necessarily have a big problem with him shooting a three, because sometimes when you put it or get a game to that way, it energizes everybody. And you need to get as many points as you can because you wasn't stopping them.
Dude, okay. But you got
no, it's not it wasn't the right move.
I don't like, dude, if we're talking about Tyler Herro did that down 2 and he has an open layup, I have less of a problem with it.
Right, not 5. You need points.
I don't have a problem with him going for the kill. There's no 5-point shot there. You got to get it eventually.
Although I saw something really unique last night. They had a 7-point possession.
Oh, dude, that was crazy.
That was great. So, shot a 3.
Flagrant foul,
made the 1, then made a 3.
Yep.
I was like,
Alec Burks. Yeah, that was crazy. 7 points in 1 possession, still lost the game. Although, if it makes anybody feel good, Warriors blew it last night, baby. Playing Jimmy. Harrison Barnes hits a 3 over Jimbo. And by the way, scored 28 points on five buckets last night. He got to the free throw line 17 times.
Who, Harrison Barnes?
No, Jimmy.
That sounds like Jimmy.
Oh, but they are now in the play-in. That's tough. They got and this is what they got left. How about this? They have Joe Cronin's Blazers and then the Clippers.
The Clippers will be done, though.
I don't know.
The Clippers are set at 4.
Are they? I don't think anybody's set.
Except for the Lakers.
I think the Lakers are top 6. They're in.
The Lakers are, if they win one of the last 2, they're 3rd.
Yes, but I think they're good. They can't be in the play-in.
Right.
The Clippers, they still can be.
And they're 4th right now, right?
They're 5th.
5th.
Technically, yes.
Because
Denver won last night.
You remember when I was trying to explain to you how seasons work on a curve? That it's hard to just look at your team and say, we only won 10 games and we got to do better than that because each year is different. Look at the West and look at the East. There's teams that aren't going to make the playoffs that would not even be in the play-in in the East.
Yeah.
I mean, so the
play-in East is
the
like
criteria in which they are playing under is a lot more severe than what the Heat are, because the Heat are etched in at the 10. They have no chance of being 500.
Nope.
And if you were that on the other side, you'd already be 1, 2, 3 Cancun.
The bottom of the East is like the AFC South.
No. You mean the NFC South. They're notorious for winning, going to the playoffs at 8-9, 7-9.
They were both terrible this year. I'm looking at it right now.
Were they?
They were both terrible.
Did anybody have a losing record that won? Or-
No. It was 10-7 for both teams that won, but the rest of the teams were under 500.
And the AFC South, that's Houston.
Houston won at 10-7. Indy was 8-9. Jacksonville 4-13. Tennessee 3-14.
Yeah.
Oof.
I mean, that's no worse than our division.
Well, that's fair. But the Bills are putting lipstick on that pig
Right.
with the 13-win season.
But they win 13. Anybody else win 9?
No, not
Right.
this year.
There you go.
Take a break.
Aaron Rodgers won 5.
Oof. Back after this. Hour 2 of the program, ladies and gentlemen.
Especially not Tobin.
Tobin and what?
Nothing.
No. Say what you mean and what you say.
I said, I still don't know what a golden goal is. And
It's not a thing.
And I'm not gonna ask Tobin.
It's a silly, nonsensical thing made up by RVA Ritchie, and I won't hear otherwise. Anyway, headlines are brought to you by Doral Volkswagen. At Doral Volkswagen, choose from over 300 new Volkswagen models in stock, like the T1, Taos, and Atlas. And remember, when it comes to Volkswagen, the great deals are at Doral Volkswagen. So Tyreek Hill, huh?
Let me explain something to you. I don't know how he has all the injury to do that. Him and his wife have been filed for divorce one other time.
It was a mistake.
Okay.
Clerical error is what they claim.
Is this one a mistake?
Clerical error.
No, I don't think this one's a mistake.
Oh.
That's like, that's the equivalent to when Mel took Dre to the vet, he went to get neutered. And he looks up and goes, I thought I was getting my nail checked. right.
I thought you were gonna say when Meemaw was the witness to Frog Boy's wedding and she used a red pen.
No,
That's
dude,
a clerical error.
That was hilarious because me and Marcos, I was showing them something and come back, and the three ladies were in there signing, and I said, hey, by the way, you're married.
They were probably laughing while doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yesterday a report came out that police were called at Tyreek Hill's house. Apparently the call was made by his mother-in-law. He was arguing with his wife, Akita Hill, and that that they were arguing. He threw, apparently, according to police, a laptop on the ground, grabbed his baby, and went out to the balcony. There was some footage that was out from from Local 10. That wasn't like too scary, but the police did. They didn't charge him with any crime. They closed the case. They did see a bruise on her that she said it wasn't a big deal. She didn't even want any filing of it, but they still did one. And another bad headline with Tyreek Hill to go along with, him walking out on the team, kind of demanding a trade publicly, trolling on Twitter, and just added on the list of what's been just a golden end of the year for Tyreek Hill.
I would say he should reboot, right? Stay away for a minute. Go to another country or something. Do whatever. You and whatever you got going on with your wife, all your kids, y'all go on vacation somewhere. Because you cannot, and here's the most important thing. I got in a little trouble every now and then. Nothing like this.
Mhm.
But my only issue was I wasn't a captain. I was young.
Yeah.
We, as media, go to him and talk to him like he's a leader. Tyreek is not a leader. Your best player doesn't necessarily mean you're a leader. And so I think the fact that the team and the coaching staff made that assumption, now we all go to Tyreek for everything because he's so-called leader. But maybe he's not the guy that should be relaying the message of the team.
He's definitely not the leader of the team, but he definitely is the voice of the Dolphins publicly because he talks the most. Like even if it's not to the media, but he talks with his thumbs on Twitter all the time.
You understand that doesn't make it true because you run your mouth.
Doesn't make what true?
Like you how did he become a spokesman for the
I mean, since he was traded here, he was doing that when he got traded here, and he was saying Tua was better or more accurate than Patrick Mahomes. Everything that he says grabs a headline. He's a headline grabber, dude.
Right.
He is.
I got you.
But this is the I don't expect the Dolphins to release him because obviously they're not going to release him. But
you can't even get an order of oxtail for him.
Not now. No, there's no way. There's no way.
Which is going to make most people think we should have pulled this trigger when we had the chance. We should have, if there were questions, then I personally think if you're Mike McDaniel and you're Chris Greer and your job is at stake this year, can you go into it with that wild card? Now, in fairness, I will say this. Once Tyreek puts the uniform on, no problems. He going to play hard. He going to do what he got to do. It's all the time off.
Yeah.
Where he just can't. Like, this is now what? 2 off seasons? This is the second off season he was getting divorced. Then they had the boat situation.
They had the marina situation. But the big
when did he break the girl's leg?
That was sometime over the summer.
But
that happened like once or twice too.
What?
In 2 different instances, him dealing with a model. There was like 2 different incidences, right?
I don't know. All I know is that the chick from England, right?
The chick from England who's suing him because she apparently broke his leg.
Broke her leg.
She broke her leg on his property.
Why are you trying to cover
but
number one?
But like the thing that's different here out of everything else, it's not even so much, about hey, Tyreek's always been a guy who's come with baggage. He's had baggage, literally came into the NFL with baggage, with his domestic violence stuff in college. I got him kicked out of college from the stuff that he had with his kid in Kansas City. He's always been a guy with baggage.
Mm-hmm.
This now comes with the idea of, is he a declining superstar who also walked out on his team, who also was a captain, who also kind of implied he wants out of Miami and now has been doing damage control ever since, and now is also still dealing with his off-the-field baggage on top of all of the football stuff?
Here's what you have to ask yourself, and here's what the Dolphins are asking themselves. Is it worth it? See, there's guys who are off the field a terror. They ain't going to, like, you hope they show up.
Mm-hmm.
But if they show up, you ain't got to worry about them playing, and their contributions far exceed any trouble they get in. That's what needs to be asked. See, life is about tolerating, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you meet a nice individual, smoking hot. This is a male or a female, right? And you go, not the brightest bulb in the, in the box. But then you say, oh, man, he or she is. I'll take the L.
You probably knew, like, when they traded for Tyreek Hill, you knew it was going to be like a wild ride. Like, it's like, oh my God, watching this man play football is addicting as a fan to see him at the peak of his powers. But also, hey, there's a reason Kansas City didn't keep him around.
So let me ask you, I make you Mike McDaniel or Chris Greer. You know how important this season is. Can you go into it? Can you depend on Tyreek Hill if it means keeping your job?
Oh, I don't think so. But here's the thing. This is where, unfortunately, like, I don't know what happened with the Tyreek Hill. It doesn't seem like a great situation. If your mother-in-law is calling the cops on you because of how you're behaving around your wife, that's not a great situation. But the personal stuff aside, like, whatever happened or whatever anybody wants to say, no crimes, it doesn't matter. It's another log on the fire, and everything follows him. So if the Dolphins were planning to trade him, or they were planning, how do you do it now? Because what are you going to get for him? And so then you also have to ask yourself, all right, so what's it worth? Do we just walk away? Do we just not have him on the team? Where do you go from there? What does it mean for our salary cap? Like, those are the choices you do make when you get into it with Tyreek Hill, and maybe he's also just not as good as he used to be.
Here's the problem. And the problem with all this is this. If you're Tyreek Hill, you just live life. Because just like the Dolphins were, there's going to be another team that thinks Tyreek can get us over the hump. And I'm starting to think Tyreek might have a little Jimmy in him, being that, oh, it's all good when I first get there and everything's being taken care of, and but I can do this and I can do that, and then it wears off.
Yeah, but here's the difference. The Dolphins paid him last year. Like, they gave him a raise for no reason last year.
Well,
You know, they did take care of him.
They didn't necessarily give him a raise because the way these money
They gave him more guaranteed money.
They probably gave him more guaranteed money, but the amount of money it counts against the cap. That's how they go about getting cap space. Give a guy. So if you're going to make, say, 3 years, $60 million, right? But only 20 of it was guaranteed.
Dude, they
I
did
guaranteed 30 of it.
last
but you
year.
only count.
They didn't want a Xavier Howard Maxwell situation, right? Remember when that happened, where they paid a new cornerback and they paid him higher than Xavier Howard, even though Xavier Howard thought that he was better. They paid Jalen Waddle last year, and they knew the Chiefs was gonna be like, he's not gonna be the number one paid receiver. I'm number one player in the NFL, and so they gave him a bump last year. But the question now is, and know that he was dealing with the wrist thing, had something done with his knee where he had stem cells or something that he said. He is 30. Like, when does that fastest man on the field, like, when does that, like, the other thing is, like, it's also, is he declining on top of all that? So while this is this is just another thing to add on top of it, you already had the backdrop of you were doing damage control with him anyway because of how he ended the year.
I would say this. I'm not worried about declining yet. Right? I would say last year's lack of productivity had more to do with Mike McDaniel than Tyreek. That being said, like, a 30-year-old wide receiver is not like a 30-year-old running back. It's not like a 30-year-old lineman or anything like that. So just because he's 30, that doesn't mean anything. You can run fast for a long time. My problem is, how is what he's doing and some of the things he's doing on a football field affecting everybody else? Because as a coach, Mike McDaniel could come in and say, look, guys, we can't have any of this. All right? And we decided to go this direction because of it. And Mike and Chris Greer got to have a conversation is, would you put your job on the line? Would you put your job on the line? Because you know, if this goes sideways, you know what that means, right? That means we're fired.
Yeah.
So,
but this is going to be like the defining thing of Chris Greer's tenure with it, right? And that's kind of what one of the things those guys are wrestling with right now is they probably already passed their window with the stars on this team.
You think?
Yeah, probably.
I don't think,
because Leroy, you lost Christian Wilkins, Bradley Chubb got hurt, Tyreek Hill's not as good, Tua didn't stay healthy.
Tyreek Hill didn't have a good year.
Okay, fine. What?
I
Semantics.
don't think it's not. No, but
semantics.
When you say he's not as good, like,
do you think he's gonna have another? Do you think Tyreek Hill has another 1,800-yard season in him?
No, I'm saying he'll be around 1,500.
Okay,
1,500. That's one of the greatest seasons ever.
It's an incredible
Why
year.
are you making it a norm?
I'm not making it a norm, but he nearly had half his yards last year. It nearly was cut in half.
A lot of that, maybe the injury played a role in it, but I'm telling you, a lot of it was all them damn bubble screens.
Okay.
They didn't throw the ball down the field. That's not Tyreek's fault. And Mike pretty much said that.
Yeah, of course you're going to say that. Why would you say that?
Because we can watch the TV and see it. You're throwing all these little short passes and not extending the field for whatever reason.
Maybe, but also, okay, you don't think it, hold on, Leroy. You can't say, can we just say this? I'm not disagreeing with you, but you're going to say it's 0% that he's not going to be the player that he is? Because a player happens all the time, where a receiver, Cooper Kupp, same thing, Triple Crown season, fell off the face of the earth. Tyreek Hill was hurt last year.
Not his legs.
One of them was.
Okay, here's what I would say to you. That you sound like a fan because you're determining Tyreek's rise and fall based only on numbers. And I would say it's pretty hard for Tyreek to have the same numbers that he had the year before if you're throwing them bubble screens for half the year. So there's a little bit of both. I'm not here. I would say this. Tyreek dropped a lot of passes last year.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know how to put that on the wrist or him, or maybe he is declining. But I'm not going to chalk it up to 1 year and him being over 30, because he plays a position that you can run and, play a lot longer than, say, a running back. But the attitude and all the other stuff, as much as I'm defending his production last year,
Mm-hmm.
I can't defend all the other stuff.
But if you want to bring it to a Jimmy thing, like the attitude and all that stuff, it wears thin, as you say, to tolerance when it's not as good.
Yeah, but I said the same thing when Jimmy was going through. I said, this is Tyreek and Jimmy, samesies.
Well, I don't want to say samesies,
Here's what I would say. Jimmy has gave you more with the Heat than Tyreek has with the Dolphins. And part of that is simply because of the position.
Cap says the window is the size of a mouse hole, but it's still there.
Well, good. The only people that can fit through it are all our wide receivers.
Malik, Jalen, come on.
Right? We welcome you to Lollipop Land.
Take a break.
Can we get a giant?
Back after this. Welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you. 560 WQM. JFig has tickets again with Scooby.
I have more?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
4-pack of tickets to Bark at the Park.
It's amazing. It's amazing that woman singing that song is married to
Mr. Unlimited.
You know how sometimes you just can't see it?
What's going on with them, huh? They're going to have him and Jameis in the same quarterback room, huh?
Oh, my goodness.
That's a clash of
He's
personalities.
gonna get, yeah.
You want to talk about, I mean, they honestly, to be real, that would be a great buddy cop film. Jameis and Mr. Unlimited.
Here's the other thing that I would say about that, though. When you think of Jameis, everybody loves Jameis. Say what you want about him. Every teammate, they all love him. When he talks, yeah, they all listen.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in the NFL has the totally opposite feeling about Russell Wilson. And this all started from Legion of Boom.
Yes.
And so, like, yeah.
Tate South says that pregame prayer is going to be 30 minutes.
Oh.
They're going to try and out-prayer each other.
Oh, my goodness.
But you could just, like if they were in a ride along, like you have Russ.
I think Jameis would beat him up.
Really?
Yes.
Ooh.
And here's why. When you watch Jameis Winston throw the football, you're still in awe.
Piss whistle?
Yes.
Mm.
Accurate, all these things. And it's strong. You got a hose on him. The problem is, and here's the problem. Those bad decision-making skills only happen in the game.
Don't sleep on cutlets. Tommy Cutlets, huh? Still there. I'm sorry.
Who's the last quarter? Well, that would have to be in San Francisco, right?
Who?
That just came out of nowhere.
Oh, yeah, Purdy.
Purdy. I mean, if we think about it, when was the announcer drafted? Not Tom Brady.
Romo?
Romo.
Yeah, Romo's years back, though.
Yeah. But I'm just thinking, is that the most... Was Romo drafted or was he free agent?
I don't remember.
Because...
I think he wasn't drafted.
Is that the only guy we can think of, undrafted guy that ended up...
That good?
Yeah. Tom Brady was one pick away from...
He was close.
Yeah.
I don't know. You want me to look up a list of most successful undrafted quarterbacks?
Yeah, it's probably 3.
Undrafted NFL. This is riveting.
Romo didn't get drafted, right?
This is me Googling.
Kurt Warner. Ooh, Hall of Famer. Kurt Warner was also 38 when he entered the league.
Something called Sportskeeda.
Oh my God.
What?
That's what it's called.
Dude, I can't tell if that's a sports site or a porno site.
Jake Delhomme.
Oh, Jake Delhomme was undrafted.
Jeff Garcia.
Okay.
Tony
Romo.
Warren Moon.
Warren Moon was undrafted. Well, that's a different, because Warren Moon went to play in the Canadian Football League and then came over, and then there was a lot of teams that wanted him. So he's in the Hall of Fame for 2 leagues. He's in the Hall of Fame in Canadian football and because he was black and short.
And Kurt Warner, number 1, they put. Hall of Famer.
Okay.
Pretty good. Oh, look at this. We got a legend joining us here, huh? A legend joining us here. You're going to see him at UFC 314. Jim, well, I can't say, we're on the radio, Jim, so I can't say your full name, unfortunately, today. But join us here on the Toyota of Hollywood guest line. Shop 2,000 Toyotas online, on sale at one location, Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan, and toyotaofhollywood.com. Jim Miller, an absolute UFC legend. Thanks for the time, man. Really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me on, guys.
You're taking on this kid Chase Hooper. We had him back when he was 19 fighting on the regional scene here, Jim. Like, does it make you like? Do you like this scenario of taking on the young whippersnappers? Does it make you feel old, or do you like teaching them a thing or two?
Being old makes me feel old. I've been doing this for a long time. I've essentially averaged 3 fights a year in the UFC for whatever it is now, 16 going on 17 years. So, I've been like living in that crucible that is like fight camp, essentially my entire adult life. So, I don't have to fight 25-year-olds or anybody younger to feel it at this point. But yeah, like Chase he's a young up and comer. He's a stud. It gets me excited because I have seen him fight for a while now, and I've been a fan of his for a bit.
Jim, is this one of these situations like you've been around forever and UFC says, you know what? If this guy is legit, he's got to get through Jim. Are you like kind of like the gatekeeper of like UFC and your division simply because, you've been at it so long?
Maybe like the term gatekeeper, honestly, in MMA kind of gets thrown around as like a little bit of a not a compliment, right?
Oh no.
But it honestly, it's like, hey, I'm here to fight. And I have fought a lot of guys that went on to fight for the title and guys that became champ and guys that were former champ and stuff. So like I've fought a who's who and it's really just about, like, for me, it's just about the fight. Like I don't really look at it any other way than that. Like, my job Saturday night is to go out and to win in a way that makes me happy, which is violent and dominant. And, like there's not a picture of me in the octagon after winning a decision where I'm happy, and that's just who I am. So like, yeah, like the goal has always been to go out and win in a way that I get pumped for it. But yeah, like if these guys want to get through to the top of the division, they have to fight their way up. And I'm here, so it's bound to happen.
But the thing that's incredible about you, Jim, is like a lot of times we see when things happen with guys in your sport and it gets to the fall off, like usually it's like you go to the Wikipedia, there's a lot of red there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so impressed by not only the activity that you keep every single year, but you're still winning, man. Like you're submitting guys months ago. Like, how do you stay sharp like that? Because normally we see, like, once it seems like it starts falling off for a UFC fighter, like it's hard for them to get back in the mindset of just getting a win.
Yeah, I don't know if we have the time to get into all of it, right? Like there's a lot of things that have helped me, extend my career. And honestly, I feel like it's been some of the bad stuff, right? I was diagnosed with Lyme disease in 2016. I believe that I was bit. I had my first symptoms in 2013. So I went about 2.5 years, pushing 3 years, with it undiagnosed, and the symptoms beat the tar out of me, and I felt like it was, hey, I've been a professional fighter for a decade, fighting the best in the world. This is what I'm supposed to feel like. And I kind of just pushed it to the side. And I was like, this is my body just telling me I've been going too hard. And when I was diagnosed, I not that I had a bad lifestyle to begin with. I just really started focusing on those things that were going to make me better through the Lyme disease while I was still competing. And honestly, I think taking that type of approach really has been one of those things that added to my career. I started making a lot of those decisions. I mean, food quality is one of those things that now in 2025, everybody talks about. I was doing that 10 years ago, because I had to. I was forced to. It wasn't just a choice. It was like, so I could survive, so I could continue doing what I love to do and support my family. So like I was pushed to make these decisions that were going to just get me through those hard times, but they ended up helping with that longevity.
What is it about Chase? Like, what are the things that you focus on? Because obviously, the guy's been grappling since he was like a toddler. You're obviously one of the best to do it. So, are there things that even like with all your knowledge, like he's just maybe not even be prone to, just because you have miles and miles of experience in the octagon with it?
Yeah, you know what? He is a tough dude, and he's got that like kind of newer age style of grappling, right? It's like it's very flowy. It's very like you don't push back. I come from my black belt I got under Jamie Cruz, who was known for his pressure game. And he is a Renzo Gracie black belt and one of Renzo's, one of his first, I believe, in his top 10, or first 10. So I come from that like more traditional, heavy grinding style of jiu-jitsu, and honestly, I've learned a lot of the new stuff because you have to adapt, you have to change, but you also have to play to your strengths in the fight. So I know what my strengths are, and I feel like it's a good matchup. But yeah, he's tricky. He's very flexible. He throws up his legs from positions where there are a lot of guys that can't do that type of stuff, and myself being one of them. I can't throw my ankles behind my ears, and it looks like he can do that type of stuff. So he's very aggressive. He's throwing punches in every position. Like I said before, like I'm a fan of his. I like watching him fight. So it's nutty to think of that, like, hey, like he turned 9 years old when I signed with the UFC, right? Like it's pretty crazy, right? He is a talented grappler, but I was a black belt fighting the best in the world when he was in like the 5th grade, so like he's training those crazy, what the heck, those little rubber bands that, like, they were like big in the 2010 era, right? Like, and I was a black belt fighting the best in the world. So experience is a tool, it's a weapon. I've made it my mission this entire time. Every time out there, win or lose, I'm trying to learn something new. I'm trying to pick up something. There are always mistakes. I've never had a perfect fight, and I don't believe I ever will. So like I've been a student of the game this whole time. So like, that experience and that mindset, I feel like carries me to win on Saturday.
Is there something like old school? Because we talk all the time in sports radio, like where Leroy's like the run game is lost in football. In basketball, there's too many threes. In baseball, no pitcher can go past 4 innings anymore. Is there something as like in the old school that you will not break on? You're like, I'm not learning this new confounded thing that everybody loves in mixed martial arts.
It's not necessarily that I won't learn stuff, right? Particularly in like the jiu-jitsu side, right? Everybody tries to like make everything their own, and it bugs the heck out of me that every position now has like 6 names, and some of them use like partial Japanese, and like you're always dealing with some Portuguese in there as well, and it's like, because everybody wants to name something, a position, and I rag on my instructor all the time when he's just ripping out like, oh well, this is side saddle or the honey hole or the outside ashi and all that, and it's like they're all the same position. Just show me the position. I don't care about the name at this point. So the naming thing is really the biggest thing that bugs me, that I just don't care. I'll do the movement. I'll do the move. I'll work on it. I'll get as good as I can at it. If it fits into my game, I will make it part of my game. If it doesn't, I'll know it to defend it. But I don't care about the names.
He's like old school. He's not a fan of sampling either.
Yeah.
Come up with your own thing. Don't use somebody else's music and rebrand it.
Jim Miller, we can't wait to see you this weekend. UFC 314 is taking on Chase Hooper, a stacked card at the Kaseya Center. Go get your tickets now if you guys want to go see it, right at the Heat's house, and of course available on ESPN Plus pay-per-view. Always a thrill, sir. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you for so much for having me, guys.
That is the all-time UFC wins leader, a bona fide legend.
I was in the car the other day.
Yep.
And I heard a song by Doechii, Anxiety. And I'm like,
Doechii Cat?
No.
Who's
that's
Doechii?
Doja
No.
Cat. Doechii is somebody different.
Who's that?
She's like a newcomer, right?
Yeah. But she has a song called Anxiety.
Yeah.
And if you
It's
hear,
anxiety.
the music is from somebody else. It's recent.
Isn't there a country artist named Doechii? Who's the new one? She does the boot song?
Daisha,
yeah. Samesies.
except one spelled Doechi
Yeah.
and one's Dasha.
You and I on the same page.
How That's not the same. You're the reason why Jim's so pissed off about renaming moves.
You're also upsetting Brittany. I
Because
think.
you go samesies. That's what could you imagine, Jim? Samesies. like,
Take a break. Back after this.
I mean, all of it for sure, but I mean, I'll probably say that the shot in the finals of the conference finals, we were always the underdog in every series. So the way we came together and played together, it was just another level, and everybody was locked in. And I would say that was the moment when I remember last year.
I just they were just in the finals. Also, just gets lost on this.
Wait, so what's worse? What happened to Luka? Or what happened to Malone?
Oh man,
You see what I'm saying?
Michael Malone sounds like a jerk.
Listen. People would say that about Bill Belichick, but here's what everybody would also say about Bill Belichick. I've never been more prepared to play football than I was with Bill Belichick.
Yep.
And so guess what? If a Mike Malone has to deal with a Tyreek Hill, why can't a Tyreek Hill deal with a Mike Malone if it's making you better?
Man.
I think if players had a problem with Mike Malone and what he was doing, they're being selfish.
It sounds like the reports that are coming out is
Him and the GM didn't get along.
Oh, him and the GM didn't speak, but on the player side, they didn't like that special treatment for Joker and Jamal, but they apparently really didn't like it for his special. He loved Russell Westbrook. And that apparently rubbed a lot of players wrong. But
Russell Westbrook is one of those guys, you either really, really love him or you really, really hate him, but he's a Hall of Famer.
Oh,
the guy plays with more energy than I have ever seen somebody play for this long a period of time.
Yep.
And
he does the Tyler Herro thing. He's good for 5 of those a year.
Oh, we call that it's either called the Tyler Herro or the JaVale McGee.
Or the Philly cheese.
Philly cheese. Oh, I'm feeling it, baby.
Speaking of Joker, this is what Nikola Jokić had to say on what ownership told him about the firing of Michael Malone.
I mean, I'm not going to say what Josh told me. So, I mean, I knew a little bit before everybody, and he told me we made a decision. So it was not discussion, it was decision, and he told me why, and so I listened and I accepted. It's I'm not going to tell what he told me. I'm going to keep that private.
Very Serbian. It was not decision. It was not discussion. It was decision. Sounds like I got ready to make a stink, if you ask me.
Hey,
I'm just saying,
Stop!
What it does. It does. It sounds like a guy ready to make a stink.
how do you know they didn't do it to keep him?
That's what they think.
But I would say this. You think a coach is going to get in the Joker's kitchen? No.
Only if you get a stepladder.
He's gonna but I'm just saying he's gonna do his thing.
Unless
he don't care.
What are you gonna do? Piggyback on the brothers?
I mean, yeah, he ain't so I don't see Joker as a guy that's gonna come in and say, hey, we need to do this.
Sounds like he just needs a new environment, maybe to mentor
Miami?
A young Serbian,
Could you imagine the two Serbians playing together?
Could I?
Wow.
Wow.
How would that do you go Bam, Joker,
Nico,
Kalel, and Tyler?
I don't think we're gonna have Kalel anymore if this happens.
You're willing to give up?
For Joker? For the Joker.
I know. Can I just tell you?
I don't know what that was.
You are
Yeah, that was weird.
Stephen Ross.
That's not fair.
You're getting on a plane,
That's not fair.
flying across the
You just brought up. You brought up a fight. You just brought up a fantasy.
You're getting on a plane. You're getting on a plane. You're driving across to meet Jim Harbaugh without realizing, oh yeah, we still have a coach.
I don't like what you're doing.
You're doing.
I don't like what you're doing.
As much as respectfully, as much as we talked about how we wanted Kalel to play,
I love Kalel Ware.
you would give him up in a
And you wouldn't for the
Thank you.
Joker.
And can I say one thing?
Yeah.
You would be giving up a lot more than Kalel.
Of course.
You won't have Bam. You might
Would you give up Kalel Ware though for Joker? Who's the Joker?
Yes, but here's what I'm afraid of. Whenever we talk trades,
Yeah.
you want to trade for the best players in the league for all the guys on your team you don't want. You don't even. You're gonna have to give up something. So right now, if you had Joker, you got to give up Tyler or Bam.
Mm-hmm. You do, don't you?
You want to kick those tires? Or
I'll take the one who knows math.
So who's going to be his Jamal Murray?
Josh Christopher, you're up, buddy.
We
got
no
left.
Wait, what do we? Question.
Yeah.
What are we doing with Wiggins?
Oh, what are we doing with Wiggins?
Like you notice, all the guys he wants to trade are guys he don't want, and if he has to make a decision, he won't answer the question.
No, but I imagine like if we're gonna make this little Serbia, we got to keep our Serbian. You know, he's like, I'm not come there without my little brother.
Well, if they
my
go
little brother.
if they go that route, they're gonna want all young guys.
One would think. Well, here's the thing. He's only got 2 guaranteed years left. I would say you give the farm if let's just say there was a stink summer. Maybe the ping pong balls bounce our way. What if let me ask you this. What if the ping pong balls bounced our way and you got the chance to draft Cooper Flagg or trade him to Denver for Joker?
Cooper Flagg.
Really?
Yes. Because Cooper Flagg is in line with all these other young guys you have.
But he's the Joker.
Cooper Flagg is in line with all the other guys, and you don't have to have an old team. You got Bam as a leader, and then all the younglings.
Dade South says Tobin's always holding his girlfriend's hand, looking at another woman walking by. That's not fair.
That's it.
That's not fair.
100% accurate.
You are literally that.
I am that
guy. The guy looking back at the older
Not true.
woman.
Right.
Never happens.
Right. No.
I'm Peaky Blinders, dude. Just
no.
Task at hand.
You're not. You're not. Like you started the charge of Jimmy's at Chipotle. Oh no, who was that?
That was Kawhi.
Kawhi.
That was Kawhi.
Like
I thought he was at the day DMV.
Dude, what?
It was Drew Starr's fault.
First of all, can you stop?
What?
Really? Like, stop getting excited. Every time if a player cusses on TV about a situation or he sees a coach and a player yelling back and forth, he immediately goes,
okay, but
we can get him for.
Is it crazy to think about? All right, let's just say this. Years ago, the big 3 started at the Olympic team, the Redeem team. Yeah. Is it crazy to think about? You don't think the Serbians have ever had the same plan?
No.
Like you don't. What do you mean? No.
You think you? Let me ask you a question. Does Joker seem like he plans things?
I don't know. Other than horse,
He plans his business to see his horse.
Dude, come on.
I think Pat Riley rides up and down him on a horse.
See what I mean? See what I mean? Like you're the worst.
Pat Riley's last stand.
No, you're the worst. You're the worst. You're the worst.
Instead of dropping the rings on the table, he drops horseshoes.
You are the worst.
Dade South says Tobin rooted for Serbia in the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Only when they weren't playing America. Vlad chiming in. Joker's the best player in the world, and Leroy wants an unproven guy.
No, that's not.
Joker or Flagg?
You need some young talent.
I understand, but this Joker.
I'm not saying Joker's not the baddest man in the league. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is, with the issues you've had the last few years with all these older guys, I'd say you try to get younger and talented and let them grow together. So
I'm going to tell you something about those Jokić brothers. They'd love to have Astron down here. Oh my God. Those guys look like they would live at space.
At space specifically?
Yeah, just fist bumping.
Sure.
What's with you people out there partying at 5 a.m.? Don't you nap?
That's exactly what they did. They napped before going over there.
Take a break. Back after this. Don't tell us we don't know sports. We just spent an entire break going from Minwoo Lee to Korean bat flips. We're touching them all here today.
I've always told you, if a pitcher throws 100 miles an hour, 95 plus,
Yep.
and I hit it 400 feet,
Pony
why
dance.
can't I celebrate?
Should be able to do the pony
It's
dance.
so hard to hit a baseball going 95, 100 miles an hour with movement. Why can't I celebrate without feeling like I'm going to get hit by the baseball next time? I tell you what, I had a rule. If somebody ever purposely hit me in baseball, I'm going after them with my bat.
Tell you what, that had to feel good for Harrison Barnes hitting a 3-pointer to beat the Warriors last night. You're like, oh, you traded me for KD? You traded me? You think I forgot? How about this? How about I send you to the play-in?
And you 1, 2, 3 Cancun, though.
Well, that's true. But, you know.
You always have, listen, as an athlete, you always, like when people celebrate a touchdown and get in somebody's face, and then you point at the scoreboard. Like, yeah, that's kind of what that is.
Get the headlines here, brought to you by Doral Volkswagen. Doral Volkswagen, choose from over 300 new Volkswagen models in stock, like the Tiguan, the Taos, and the Atlas. And remember, when it comes to Volkswagen, the great deals are at Doral Volkswagen. Taking a look. Hello, friends.
Hello,
it is
friends.
Masters Week.
Round
1.
Are you looking at the scores?
I am looking at the scores.
Let me do it because you don't know any of the names.
That's not fair, dude.
You're going to butcher it.
I don't mean that's not all right.
Oh, wow. I hate when they do this.
What's what?
They don't put the first name.
I got the first names.
Go.
The leader, Stefan Jaeger.
Mm-hmm.
He is 4 under through 10.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Ray is 3 under. He's a stroke back.
Joaquin
Neiman is behind him.
Scotty Scheffler.
He's through 7.
Terrell Hatton. Is it Matthew McCarty?
He was on live, wasn't he? We talked, or he was just playing in the Pro-Am.
Terrell Hatton.
He's on live.
Mike, is it Mike McCarthy?
Matt
McCarthy. Will Zalatoris.
Mike McCarthy coaches.
Will Zalatoris put some weight on. He was a skinny fella. Then he had to take a year off for like back surgery. So he looks good now. Freddie Couples 1 under.
How about that? Look at that, Freddie.
Alex English. Nothing says intangible like Alex. Well, basketball player. Take it back. Basketball player. Take it back. Alex English.
Mm-hmm.
Corey Connors. That's right. I think so. I don't have first names.
You're right.
Harmon. He won. Did he win the Open Championship last year or the PGA? He won a major last year.
I like this name.
What?
Maverick McNeely.
Oh, yeah. He's top 10 in the world.
He is?
Yes.
I've never heard of him.
Angel Cabrera.
What kind of name?
No, that's not it.
So wait, his name's Maverick McNeely. Like, where's he from? Are you from Texas?
I don't know.
Maverick McNeely sounds like Walker and Texas Ranger. Chip! I'll get on you like a spider monkey.
Like he's got the big belt buckle cigar.
I'll beat your ass. Tom Brokaw's a punk.
Let me see. Angel Cabrera.
No, he's still smoking cigarettes.
Yeah. Listen, let me tell you something. That guy, if he walked through here, you would never think he would won 2 majors. Won the US Open and Augusta.
Luis says, wasn't Cabrera in jail until recently? Was he in jail, Angel Cabrera?
I don't know. Is it Will Cantor?
Will.
I love how you tell Tobin.
He has
that,
no.
Care of,
Here's why. Here's why.
Asking him.
Wait. Because he has first names. I don't.
Laurie.
I thought you knew.
No, not some of these guys I don't know.
Laurie Cantor.
Michael Kim.
Yep.
Bubba Watson.
You're just saying names though. You're not saying their scores.
Oh, Bubba Watson's 1 under.
Through 3.
Michael Kim even. Is it Cameron Young? Even.
Welcome. Oh, what about that?
Is it Michael Thompson? I don't know.
Angel Cabrera, welcome back to the Masters after serving jail time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. How about that?
Bernard Langer, even par, which is amazing. This is his last one. He's like 70. Cameron Smith, even par. Was it DJ or TJ Poston?
Who?
JT Poston
Yes, JT Poston.
is even par. Jason Day, Maverick McNeely.
This is a hell of a headline.
What?
It says Angel Cabrera, welcome back to the Masters after serving prison sentence. The Argentine golfer Angel Cabrera has been away for some time, but he returns to Augusta National this week with a spring in his step as a winning golfer looking for a warm embrace. Despite a lifetime invitation that accompanied the Masters triumph in 2009, Cabrera hasn't teed up here since 2019. Instead, he's been serving time at a notorious Carcel de Bauer prison. I don't think I said that right. In Argentina, the establishment nicknamed the Prison from Hell. Two former girlfriends accused him of domestic abuse, according to the Associated Press, when he skipped the mandated court appearance in Argentina to play in the PGA Tour Champion event in 2020. It triggered a red notice from Interpol, and he was subsequently arrested in Brazil. Cabrera spent 4.5 months at the infamous Placido de Sá Carvalho prison in Rio de Janeiro. I did my best.
Leroy's eyes.
Don't act like you would have done better.
Hey,
If that was the name of a fighter, I would have nailed it.
Those comments have redneck written all over it.
Placido de Sá Carvalho. Placido. I said that first. You yelled at me.
Oh, he's a singer, right?
What?
Placido.
So he skipped out on a court date because he got accused of domestic violence.
And then they came and got him.
And then they came and got his ass. Then he was found guilty of threats of harassment against another ex-girlfriend. Yeesh. Not great.
Not great.
Not great. He's looking for the warm embrace of golf. Yeah, I mean, I guess anything's going to be a warm embrace after you get out of the prison from hell. Jesus.
That is
I
true.
was like expecting to say like, oh, tax evasion? Like I was like, what did he do?
That happened to a senior tour guy though.
Tax evasion?
Yeah.
Well, that happens in soccer all the time. I feel like those guys are hit up for like prison sentences. And then they said, didn't that happen to Ronaldo? Shakira too, right?
Yep. I was just about to say that.
Shakira too. So I was a little.
She didn't do jail time.
No, because they end up paying a fine or they skate on it. Yeah, but not him. He went to the prison from hell.
That's funny.
Jesus.
That just sounds crazy.
Hmm.
Who gave it that name?
Hello, friends, except Angel Cabrera.
Are we gonna get back to
golf?
Tyreek
no,
Hill?
not golf.
Cheetah?
Tyreek, yeah.
Yeah, we can get back into it. Let's take a break though. We gotta take a break.
All right.
We'll reset. Back after this. Tobin and Leroy here with you. 560 WQAM.
I don't know why people do that.
I don't know either, dude.
Like, my phone rings, right? The guy's like, hi. And they go up 5 minutes before they get to the point. So I just stopped him. I said, excuse me. I say, hey, buddy.
Hey.
Either get to it or get off the phone. But I'm at work.
I like how JFig ran in here like we were just pulling the goalie. Like you remember when
I
Bob
was right outside and I see the light. And I'm like,
wait, so
ever
did you go get more snacks?
no, I was talking to Dan.
Dan
Day?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the soccer confuser.
Do you want me to call him in? Do you want to yell at him?
No.
Okay.
That's always my favorite though, when Bob has to leave. Like, Bob, get off. He's got all that gear on.
Nothing about that outfit says I'm gonna do this fast. right. Because he's got a stick. Let me make sure I got my stick, my water bottle. he's got a whole little setup.
We gotta ask him about that.
Or what's the worst part? When they're like looking because they know it's coming, and then a buck goes by. Damn! Hold up, not yet.
That guy's got to have good timing on the barn door on the bench too. Because he's not doing the hop over.
No.
Come on, get in.
Because
he got in.
He's got to go right to the offensive end. It's
and Vanacek's got to move down. Move down, Vanacek. Move.
No, when you say, they're pulling the goalie. And I'm like, that's why you got to pull him with 3 minutes left, because it takes a minute and a half for him to get over with all that equipment on.
like he's doing he'll do like the butterflies and all that like a ninja. And then it's like, Bob, skate straight.
It's crazy, right? I mean, it's ridiculous. I'm telling you, between watching the goalie get pulled and when the regular player tries to play goalie, that's
my God.
Like, he tried to get in position.
Cat Talk here, brought to us by Hollywood Kia. At Hollywood Kia, the #1 Kia deal in all of Florida. Get the star treatment. We want to see you in a Hollywood Kia. Visit them online, hollywoodkia.com. Bob is in net tonight, by the way, for your Cats. They're taking on the Red Wings.
Does it matter for them?
The Panthers?
They're
still chasing the division. Last night, the Maple Leafs won over Toronto. The Maple Leafs won over Toronto. Jackass. The Maple Leafs won over Tampa yesterday.
Okay.
So they
both tied at 98.
No, now they moved up. So I think they're at 100.
Okay. So we ain't catching them.
Not impossible, but it's not likely.
You don't get 100 points by losing.
We're 6 behind, but we definitely can still catch Tampa. We can catch Tampa.
It's crazy because that's just in your division. That's not even in the East, right?
Yeah. Yeah, just the division. But
and so in all division winner go, all division
top 3 in the division go.
Top 3 in the division go.
Top 3 in division go. Each division, 2 wild cards.
Wow, that seems like a lot of teams.
A lot of teams, yeah. 8 teams.
Huh?
8 teams.
In each side. On each side. That's the same as football.
Yeah, it's just there's 2. People always like, everybody makes it, but it's just because there's not 100 divisions. There's 2 divisions.
Same thing with basketball.
Yeah. Basketball is just like, and basketball kind of got rid of division winners and all that stuff.
I just, the problem that I have is that once you get into the playoffs, like your record qualifies you for the playoffs. Okay. Once you get in the playoffs, your record should also qualify you for seeding. Right? Because what happened last year is like would never happen.
Mm-hmm.
One team was what 13-4 and had to travel.
Oh, the Vikings. 14-3, right?
14-3.
Crazy.
Right. And they 14.
They were saying that they were going to try and change that.
They need to. Like here. A 7-9 team, or to be 8-9 team right now. I don't care what division you're in. Should not ever host a playoff game.
Jaime says, Tobin, you like to make opinions without knowing in soccer. It is called the golden goal when in overtime and it ends with a goal. Your caller was right. All right, mark that down. That's RVA Richie's burner.
So a golden goal is the only time where it ends in overtime.
So like a sudden death winner.
Right.
All right, cool.
But here we go. But when it's legs of a playoff or a championship, right?
They played out.
The only golden goal there could be is if LA would have scored in the overtime and made it 2-1, then it's over.
All right. Well, I come from, like in hockey, we just have sudden death in overtime. Boom. You win, you win. It's not called a golden goal. But maybe it should be. I don't know. It is a cool name, objectively.
I like it.
Hunter says, damn you, Jaime, for bringing this back up. Timbo, please not this again. So, Tyreek Hill, you want to get back into him?
We live in a world right now where people are about tolerance. Like, if you think Tyreek is good, we'll tolerate the nonsense. But I would say, how good can he possibly be for you to ignore all of the off-season stuff? You see what I mean? I'm not even counting last year. I think part of it may have been on him. He did drop a lot of passes. They say he was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But most of it had to do with the offense that Mike McDaniel was running, because I think he overcoached his team, meaning that he was looking for solutions before the problems presented themselves. And that's overcoaching. So he says, man, our offensive line can't block. We're not going to be able to get the ball downfield. Quick passes before you even tried. And so, but that being said, is Tyreek more of a headache than he is
talented?
Right.
Yeah, whose talents outweigh his baggage now. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I think,
again, I'm going to say this. I think he'll get back to 1,500 yards. So pencil him in for 13 to 1,500 yards.
Okay.
Now, because I don't want you just looking at last year. I mean, for some reason, we think that for your whole career, you got to put up the same amount of numbers. It's up and down. It's up and down. So I say he gets 13 to 1,500 yards.
Okay.
Okay. But you got to deal with all the other stuff. Is it worth it?
The thing for me is, while I appreciate that you think that, one of the things that was noticeable last year is the Dolphins, they went from, and they said this kind of by design, they were going to go from a cheetah reliant offense. They were really trying to get him 2K the year beforehand. They were trying to break the record. Mm-hmm. He got hurt at the end with the whole hip drop tackle and stuff like that. Nearly did it. I mean, it was awesome. This year, we talked about, like, they added Jonnu Smith into the mix. You know, it wasn't, they did get a little bit bogged down by the way they were calling things. And then also, we can't ignore that Tua missed a lot of games, and that also ruined the offense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, he missed 6 games. That's going to screw up your numbers as a receiver anyway. But it's also got to be one. You do have to wonder, while it's not running back, you're right. Man, like, is it crazy to think about all of a sudden he's going to start wearing down a little bit? He's not the biggest guy in the world either. Like, he
doesn't get hit a lot, though.
Doesn't, yeah, but sometimes he does. Sometimes he does.
Yeah, but when you play that position, if you get hit 10 times throughout the course of the year, that's sometimes.
All right.
I get that in the first quarter.
But I think the thing, but it's the other stuff too, man. It's like, if they go on a 2-game losing streak and he doesn't get his numbers, is he going to be like, is it, we've already kind of seen the window into it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also put on top of it Tua's durability issues. What if Tua gets hurt again?
No.
Can he
this is not about Tua.
It is about no. Well, let me explain. Because if Tua does get hurt again and he's got to deal with Zach Wilson's ass, can he handle that? Can he deal with that? Because, like, he showed you at the end of last year, no mas. He was done with it.
Mm-hmm.
He was done with it by the end of it. He said, I'm not a loser. I'm a winner. All right, well, what if the Dolphins go through? What if the Dolphins start 2-4?
Where did he go to college?
Georgia.
Exactly.
Not the Georgia.
Yeah. That was Georgia Southern or something.
I think it was Georgia Southern.
Right. So, okay, pipe down. Like, I was a winner too.
No, I understand.
I was a winner.
I understand, but that was his. But Leroy, that's what he said.
I know.
He said that.
I know. But here's the problem. there's two things. If I'm Stephen Ross, this guy can't be representing me and everybody running to him for comments.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and
that makes me feel uncomfortable.
Of course.
As an owner, right? The other thing is that sports in general has a lot of ups and downs. If every time you have a down, you're going to have a player that you don't know how they're going to respond.
Every single time Mike McDaniel has spoken this offseason, there has been a Tyreek Hill issue that he's had to talk about.
Right.
One of them was about Wes Welker getting fired, and did Tyreek's tardiness have to do with it? One of them was about his trade request cryptic tweets.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was about his comments after the season. The next time we're going to be talking about, hey, what about Tyreek Hill's mother-in-law calling the cops on him?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like and so if you're Mike McDaniel and you're trying to get a hold of this locker room and you're trying to show accountability, because that was the big message at the end of that last year, was accountability. He even had to answer at the end of this one. It was like, would you be cool if Tyreek Hill was voted a captain? He'd be like, oh, that would show tremendous growth. Now, I don't know if Mike McDaniel's showing a poker hand because he wants to trade him, but like, let's be real about it, dude. This guy
He can't be a captain.
He can't be a captain.
No.
But they tried to spin that on us.
All right. I just.
Yes, ideally he would just stay the hell out of everybody's, like, just, could you not have a controversy for 3 weeks? Can we go
3 weeks?
Just 3 weeks.
Then they would do a wellness check on him because they think something was wrong with him. I'm serious. Like, hey, anybody seen Tyreek? He didn't.
You're not yourself.
You're not going on a boat or something? You know, like, yeah. I mean, here's what I think. Just from my own personal experience with the better sex, the better half, I would say this. As long as there's kids with kids' mamas, he gonna have drama. Especially if it's not the same one.
Yeah. So
that's just human nature.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's human nature.
He seems like he has a lot of chaos in his life.
I would say, Jennifer, I'll ask you. You're dating a guy, one of the guys you didn't crop out. He's good friends with his ex.
Hard no.
Right.
Red flag.
But think about this. If you have a bunch of kids with a bunch of different baby mamas, you got to have a relationship with them. You have to. So, I don't know. It's drama's always going to be around him.
Yeah.
Not to mention, if he's not trying to break somebody off at the top of the break playing football in his backyard, or if he's not getting into kerfuffles anywhere. So I think sometimes we empower people to make them feel that they're on the right path. And I think there's never been anybody to sit him down and say, look, man, like you're leader of this team, and the young guys can't see all this nonsense going on.
But it's like one of those things that you also got to recognize when the time is up on it, right? Like Kansas City.
Kansas City
did it. And now the Dolphins are at the point where it's like, hey, we've just reached the end. Will some other team do the whole new fresh start thing?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. I mean, he's electrifying. But the Dolphins have had their run with him. Would I blame them? I also put it like this. Would I blame them if it was the end of it? No, absolutely not.
Let me ask you a question. Here, I'm going to ask you as a fan, because I know you have the ability to forget about certain aspects of a situation because you only look at what could happen. Is it worth it for you?
I don't think so. And the biggest thing for me was the way the year ended. And I think
we had this conversation then. I told you that's a big no-no with me.
Because I don't know if this is going to be a good Dolphin season. I'm not saying that it won't be,
right?
But I'm worried that if it's not, it's going to be worse. And then you're in a situation where Now, this, that then you're in a situation where teams know you're up against it to try and trade him.
Here's what I would say. Here's what I'm afraid is going to happen, right? Is that they're going to have a talk with him. Everybody's going to get on the same page. Football's going to start. And then midway through the season, Tyreek is going to get caught up in something.
Yeah. It was like, how many talks are you going to have with them? They already said that in their statement yesterday. We've been in communication with them. We have no further comment.
You've been in communication?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
You want to be in better communication with him? Hold one of them checks. I'm just saying, you want to be in better communication with Tyreek? Hold one of those checks.
Take a break. Back after this. It's time for our favorite Thursday game. A little Goosies. No Goosies. Are you ready, Leroy?
I am.
Number one. Deshaun Watson says,
No, rats off his shit.
"What? That's not the game. That's not the game."
Oh,
Just
goose.
say no goose.
No goosies.
But I didn't even get to say what he said.
I don't care what he said. No goosies. Next one.
But I mean, you can't just. So we all have to be no Goosies.
I'm Spirit Leroy, so technically, yeah.
Brittany, you want to hear what Deshaun Watson said?
No, not really.
Okay.
You want to say? You want to say it? Go ahead. And unless it says, you know what? I've robbed him blind. I'm going to give some money back. No goosies.
Quote: "Everyone's doubting me.
Yes!
Everyone don't
Yes! We're doubting you. Got $230 million. You played about $1,200 worth of football.
Everyone don't believe in me. Everyone don't think I can get back to where I was, but I know and I believe the work that I put in is what I believe in myself. The peace that I've been channeling these last couple months, I know I'm going to be way better than before."
After hearing what he had to say, my goosies, no goosies has been confirmed. You lose a timeout.
You have triple no goosies.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude,
Yeah.
Really?
Hmm.
You got no goosies either.
I
Stop. 230 million. He's like, after year 5, he's like, oh, I feel it. I feel it this year.
So he's saying he thinks he's going to be way better than an MVP candidate. That's what he thinks?
He's going to be way better than he's been the last 3 years, which is not setting the bar very high.
All right. Leroy, number 2. Max Meyer start to the season. Goosies? No Goosies.
Goosies, especially when I didn't know who the hell he was, right? We didn't know any of these players, and we've seen them make awesome plays, pitch the ball well, and do a lot of good things. Now, keep in mind, it is the first 2 weeks of season, so I don't know if we should read into it too much, but it beats the alternative, 6-24.
Jennifer?
You know, I would say I'm Goosies, but I've met him before, and he thought that I was my friend's mother, and that offended me. So.
Wait, whoa!
Wait a minute, dude! Hold on!
Wait a minute!
What?
So, wait a minute.
Max Meyer?
Uh-huh.
Marlins Max
Wait.
Meyer.
Okay, first of all, let's do this.
And you've met my friend. The fact that she's younger than me, and he thought I was
There's 2 sisters, the ones I always mix up? No?
the one that went to your house for Super Bowls.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
So here's the deal. First of all, we need a setting. Was this out and about?
No, I was at the Marlins.
At a Marlins game?
I was at FanFest.
Oh, FanFest. Okay.
Wow.
And
She was like, "Oh, 1 second," and he goes, "Oh, are you waiting for your mom?" And I'm like, "What?"
Well, that's an automatic no goosies.
No goose.
Well, maybe he's like a Zach Wilson. You know, maybe that's like, you know, what he
And also,
likes.
there's moments where she looks older than me, and I'm just like, how?
He is
How
very
this-
young, though.
I know.
Wow. Call somebody. Wow.
Mhm.
What is Max Meyer? No, he's not that young anymore. 26. That feels like
He's
they just
been around
drafted him.
forever.
Feels like they just drafted him.
No, you know, baseball players get lost in the system.
Would you have double Tommy John surgery? Anyway. Brittany, you got the Goosies for Max Meyer start to the season?
In solidarity for JFig, I do not have.
Wow.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Well,
Us girls have to stick together.
in spite of Max Meyer's terrible estimation of your age,
Seriously.
took a no-hitter into the 6 yesterday, JFig. I got the Goosies. I got to tell you, like, he's been looking good.
You don't care for me.
JFig, in seriousness,
You don't
if
care for
Peter
me.
Bendix, if Peter Bendix can get to June and we got Sandy, Max Meyer, and we're getting Yuri back, we need some sticks. All right, but Mervis is tearing the cover off the ball. Maybe Bruce Sherman was right. I went too far. I'm sorry. I went too much. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna be honest. as much as I appreciate Bruce Sherman buying the team and whatever, don't ever say that again.
All right. Number 3. Yahoo Sports has their mock draft 8.0. That's a lot of mocks. Number 13, the Miami Dolphins select Josh Connerly Jr., offensive tackle from Oregon. Got the Goosies, Leroy? 6'5", 315?
I'm torn. But too many names. Nope.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
They're all blending together.
he's got a name. No, he's got a name like if I'm watching what's this show that come on crime investigators at night, you say they picked him up. And then what's his name again?
Josh Connerly.
Yeah. Junior.
Hunter says portly.
No, that sounds 6'5", 315.
He doesn't look too
He
portly.
sounds like he's put together pretty good.
Moose.
Guard or tackle?
I mean, he played tackle.
Left tackle?
He's listed as a tackle.
Or right tackle?
Left.
So we don't need that. We need interior. We don't need a left or right tackle, right?
Kick him in, baby. Kick him in, baby.
No. Unless they see him there anyway, right? Because every left tackle can't play left tackle in the NFL. So that's not a big deal. So if they project him to be a left guard or a right guard, then that's fine. But if they bring him in to play tackle and then they say can move him, that's not. So you kind of have to look at it that way.
It says taking an offensive tackle at this point makes a lot of sense. Connerly would be a nice fit for Miami's system. He's athletic with a ton of upside. We give the Dolphins another dice roll for their tackle situation to go along with Patrick Paul. I don't like the idea of Chris Greer at the craps table. Feels like anytime he's like, oh, I like those chips, but I'm not too much. He wouldn't be fun to play dice with.
F them chips.
He'd let Van Ginkel walk away.
Christian Wilkins.
Ugh.
Was it Austin Jackson? No, Hunt.
Robert Hunt.
Robert Hunt.
God, man, he made a lot of money.
But you
Pro Bowl,
understand. Can I just say this? How good would this team get if Chris Greer had just kept the guys he brought in? That's if there's one issue I have with Chris Greer, it's that. Like, the reason why it's hard to evaluate your draft picks is because you either did such a good job that you can't afford any of them, right? And all we have is the guys who you can keep for cheap. It doesn't help your resume at all when none of the guys you draft in the top 2 or 3 rounds you can afford.
Ooh, it's got the Pittsburgh Steelers taking Shedeur Sanders at 21.
Oh, he's going to fall that much?
He's visiting with them. Maybe they're off old kooky mushroom.
So there's a lot of people who have questions. If you could go anywhere from 3 to 20. But here's why I don't trust anybody's process. When you're a bad team, your process sucks. Okay? I got proof. But the NFL, a league that I love and spent most of my life and am paying for with the rest of my life, that is the team who determined that Dan Marino should be drafted in the 20s. So I don't want to hear it. No, I don't want to hear it. Don't tell me what you think.
We'll take a break. Final hour coming on up. Back after this.
WQAM brought
Welcome back. Tobin and Leroy here with you. 560 WQAM. Take you guys up until 2 here on the program. Get some headlines here brought to you by Doral Volkswagen. Doral Volkswagen, choose from over 300 new Volkswagen models in stock, like the Tiguan, the Taos, and the Atlas. Remember, when it comes to Volkswagen, the great deals are at Doral Volkswagen. The Miami Heat lost to the Chicago Bulls 119-111. We'll get more into it. 15 minutes of Heat coming on up in about 10 minutes. Panthers are back on the ice tonight, skating with the Detroit Red Wings at 7 o'clock. Mullins are off today after salvaging the series finale against the Mets. And the Pinks beat LAFC 3-1. They move on to the semifinals in the Champions Cup. I like just the comment that we have. I believe it was by Luis, who just goes, fake guards don't work.
Fake guard.
Yeah, like a tackle you move to guard. That's a fake guard.
No. Here. Sometimes you have guys who are athletic, that play tackle in college, but their body types don't work in the NFL, and you move them to guard. For example, if they have a tackle with short arms, they might move them to guard or move them to right tackle. So
yeah, that's the knock on Will Campbell. Everybody says his arms are too short, even though he's awesome.
His arms are what? A half inch shorter than normal?
Yep, only 3 tackles in the league with that. Sorry.
3 tackles in the league or what?
With arms his size. Can't do it.
So he's a good player, but his arms are short.
Too short.
Go. I want you to say that 1,000 times on your way home and see why does Leroy think it makes no damn sense?
T-Rex arms. Can't get those paws on him, you know?
Dude. You make it worse.
I know. The Masters is in progress. You want to give us an update on the scoreboard? What do we got here today?
Yeah.
From Augusta. How's my guy Morikawa doing?
Jaeger still in first place at 4 under. He's through 12.
Is he from Germany or Belgium? I always get the is vertical Belgium and Germany's horizontal.
Wait, what?
His flag. Where's he from?
I don't know. I hate the way
German. Confirmed.
Okay. Scotty Scheffler's in second at 3 under.
He's winning.
Terrell Hatton also 3 under. Wow. Justin Rose birdied the first 3 holes.
Really?
What a start to the Masters.
How about that? Good for him.
Harris English 2 under.
Harris English sounds like a fake name.
Sounds very intangible.
It
Except
does.
Harris English, and we had a basketball player with the last name English. Brian Harmon is at 2 under.
Oh, Jaeger just fell. Now Scotty Scheffler and is back on top.
Did he? Oh, he must have made a double at the par 5. Here he goes. Oh. Yep. Double at the par 5. Told you. That means he hit his second shot in the water. So
are we going to lose you tomorrow? Like, are you going to have the TV set up in the home studio? Are you going to have feet up?
It's actually you're safer when I'm in the home studio.
Really?
Because there's no TV in there.
Oh yeah, but you're gonna bring a screen in.
But are you gonna have like 2 different laptops or something?
And also, like when you go home today, is it like are you putting sweatpants on, kicking the feet up? You gonna nap? Like how long does Masters coverage go till tonight?
Well, first of all, I'm glad you reminded me.
What are you doing? You preparing your meal?
No. Gotta record it.
Huh?
Gotta record it.
Record what? Oh, the Masters.
Yeah.
Okay.
They don't replay.
What?
Mm-mm.
Really?
Yeah, they don't replay.
Welcome back. Who did it better in their welcome back on First Take today? LeBron to Cleveland or Luka to Dallas? Well, hold on though. All right. Luka basically got to go home to a hero's welcome. They had urinal cakes with LeBron's face on them in his return to Cleveland. That was a hostile environment. And he was done by the fourth quarter. He was like,
can I just say that from a fan perspective, that was amazing. That was unlike any other return I've ever seen.
The LeBron to Cleveland or the Luka?
The Luka.
Yeah, it was weird.
It was like uncomfortably weird.
I was at the D Wade return when he came back as a Bull. That was weird. That was definitely weird.
Yeah.
You know, he got cheered every basket.
But the problem with that is so even though everybody hated that D Wade was gone, everybody understood.
And also, you knew it was coming. Like eventually, like you could feel it getting to that point, and then it happened. The Luka thing is like I would be traumatized as a fan still. I was traumatized.
I was amazed at how, like, could you imagine being a Dallas Maverick?
D Wade beat us on, by the way. A pump fake got Justice Winslow.
But can you imagine being a Maverick and playing on that team? Even the players after the game.
Schmeathan says they treated him like a war hero.
Pretty much.
No, they treated Nico Harris like a war criminal is what they treated him like.
Goodness. I mean,
fire Nico chants immediately as the game started. And they go to him too. I gotta say, hey, props to Nico for balls for sticking out there in the tunnel. Because I would have been like, you know what, boys, I'm gonna watch this one back in the lounge. Everybody would have understood.
There is not one person who wasn't sympathetic to the Luka experience last night.
I almost cried.
Really? Like for reasons you can't even explain.
It's because he's Slovenian.
No, it's not that. It's because you genuinely feel like he got hosed.
Just look at him.
I didn't like the smear campaign either.
Right. That's the thing. See, I have a problem with. So I have this thing. Right? It's like if you're friends or you're dating with somebody and you guys have a bad breakup or whatever, like you're not together anymore. Who cares why or whatever? You don't have to go and make yourself look good by smearing the other person. Just keep it moving. Right? The fact that a professional in the sport of basketball that could have very easily said, we just wanted to move on for whatever reason, he decided to go smear campaign. And guess what? Those 45 chunky, sloppy points that came from your...
Why they gotta be chunky?
Because that's what they made Luka sound like.
They made him sound like
out of shape.
They made him sound like a lush too.
Right.
Too much beer.
Right.
Yeah, but it's coming from Leroy.
But here's like.
Nah, I see what you're doing there. That doesn't count.
No.
He's channeling Dallas. He's not fat shaming.
That's what
Luka.
Dallas said. I'm not fat shaming. Why would I fat shame Luka?
Look at that adorable Slovenian face. Just want to pinch his cheeks. Remember when Goran cried in the finals when he got hurt?
No.
I was heartbroken.
Did you cry?
No.
I didn't
wait.
cry when Goran Dragic cried, but I was. Whew.
You felt his pain.
JFig, I was on the Zoom. I was on the Zoom call when Goran got hurt, right? And he goes, this is what he tells everybody to the Zoom camera. He's in his little hotel room, all right, in that beautiful little accent of his. And he goes, sometimes I just big feel upstairs. Why this have to happen this way?
I feel like he's about to cry right now.
It's
too.
tough.
Look at his eyes.
It's tough. I'm like,
Dude, will you stop? What is wrong with you?
When he says the guy upstairs.
When you said the guy
And he
upstairs,
looked upstairs.
Your eyes looked very shiny,
Oh.
very glossy just now.
You're the worst.
Slovenian tears, dude.
That'll get you.
And then let's not forget when Zoran Dragic dropped 31. Those were happy tears.
When did Zoran score 31?
Regular season finale.
How many shots?
I don't remember. I'll look it up. In the meanwhile, 15 minutes of heat is next.
I mean, when was the last time we heard Peppers at arena?
I don't feel like I've heard it in any other arena.
Right.
So were they mocking us last night when
No,
they
I've
played
heard it in
Peppers?
other arenas.
At the moment the game is over? Because it felt like after that Buzelis 3, I heard Peppers. Felt like a little.
They were
dig.
definitely mocking us.
They were mocking us, Brittany?
1,000%.
Did Jax mention it?
He did not, but you could. He let out a sigh during the broadcast when it happened, and it was like an acknowledgement of this is.
What was his sigh when Tyler Herro took that 3?
He didn't. This is the craziest thing about it because we're all in studio watching the game. He's in Chicago, and the way he set up the play, it didn't sound like it was like a wide open 3. Like it didn't sound like a fast break. It didn't sound like anything like that. And so when we watched, our reaction like didn't really come until we saw it on the TV 30 seconds later.
Oh.
And we all just went like this.
Because
it didn't sound like it didn't sound as bad on air as it did when you're watching it. Yeah.
Oh man. Well,
that's the epitome of a backbreaker.
It was tough.
And in combination with the Tyler miss didn't help.
Because
you would have been in the same spot if you'd have made the layup and they went down and shot the same 3.
You would have been in a great spot. You would have been in a great spot.
You would have been in the same spot.
No, if he would have if they would
if he would have made the 2
and
and then he would have made the 3, you're down by 6. So, but it's just the optics of it. We're all sitting here saying, why didn't he just take the layup? Well, the layup wasn't the problem. It was the 3 on the other end.
Ugh. Here was Bam Adebayo yesterday on his boy Tyler Herro, who he's played many years with. This is what he had to say.
Hey, man, that kid has made a lot of tough buckets in his career. So, you tip your hat off when he shoots stuff like that. And, that's a killer mentality for him. To me, that's one of the best looks he's got all night. So, man, you live with that. Because 100% y'all wouldn't be talking about it if he made it. So, we always want to talk about when guys miss, but the guy was 50% from the field. You got to live with those.
So do you understand what I'm saying? If he makes the layup, if he goes in for a layup, and they make the 3, you're still down by 6. It's not the shot or him choosing the layup or not. It's the fact that they gave up a 3 on the other end.
Yeah, and you could also be in a spot where you're going to set up your defense better if he makes the layup, because you're not having a wild rebound get leaked out.
You shouldn't have had it, though. He was on a 1-on-2 fast break.
Dude,
where were the other 4 guys?
Because he was there by himself. That's why he should have done the layup.
That's why you should have been able to get back on defense.
No. Because you want to know something, when he misses that, it's like,
all right, I got you. I'm like again, I'm not saying I get why everybody's upset that he tried to make the 3. But do you understand that if everything happens the way it did, other than Tyler making a 2, you're still down by 6.
But dude, when he misses the 3, it's over anyway. It's over.
Right.
They just stuck a dagger in you anyway.
The problem is the 3. Okay, not that he took the 3 or not. I get it. I would have made the layup. I get it. I get everybody's support. The problem is they didn't stop Giddey all night. That was the backbreaker. The backbreaker wasn't Tyler shooting a 3 over a 2. The problem was we would have a bigger issue with what Tyler did if they had missed the 3-point shot, that he'd have gotten the ball back, right? Still at down 5. Then we would have been like, hey, he probably should have took the bucket, because now they don't have a chance to tie. But once you give up that 3 on the other end, doesn't matter what you did before that.
Yeah, but again, the 3 is there's nobody, like you're saying, there's nobody back there on defense. There's nobody there to rebound your 3. If you take the layup, there's nobody to rebound. That's the point. And you need the 2. You're going to need the 2 points eventually anyway. That's why it's a stupid situation. That's why it's not defendable. That's why when people are like, he takes that shot, it's not a ball shot. It's a stupid shot. The ball shot would be down 2. If you take a shot down 2 because you want to go for the win, I don't want to go overtime. We can't stop them on that. Everything you're saying is valid. Everything you're saying is valid. What makes it dumb is you need 5 no matter what. You can't win with that shot.
Right.
It's a losing probability.
But here, at some point, you're going to have to make a 3. And I agree with you. So let's get carried away. Okay. I think he should have took the points.
I was very mad at Bam's explanation.
But
ridiculous.
They could put all that twist they want on it. The game was over regardless of what Tyler did because they gave up a 3 on the defensive end.
Bam, can I just say something, dude? Let me just say something to you. Okay?
Why are you on Bam?
Well, first of all, he got his lunch money taken by Vucevic. Okay,
everybody does. Vucevic has been getting him forever.
Whatever, dude. Bam,
Moose.
I want you to be honest, okay?
Be honest.
Be honest, Bam. Be honest.
Be honest.
When you guys got back to the bench after that Buzelis 3, after Tyler missed the 3, and he looked around and laughed and said, "My bad." Just be honest. Did you tip your
cap? Did you almost fall out of your chair?
Yeah, let me just ask a question. No. Seriously, let me just get this right. When this happened, okay, you were all on the bench after that exchange happens. Did you go to him immediately and you go, tip of the cap? Because you just told me, hey, man, you tip your cap to him. Be honest, Posh. Bam.
With some stink eye, you think he got some stink eye?
Yes! That's why would he say, my bad? Yes, you're bad.
Again, I get everything that everybody would say up to that point. Okay? But the fact of the matter is, it didn't matter when they made the 3. Because if you'd have taken the 2 and they would have made the 3, you're still down by 6.
Dude, all right. But it doesn't matter. Like, it does
This only becomes a big issue. This only really becomes a big issue if he would have taken that shot and then you stopped him. Because now you're in the same damn boat.
But that's the thing. You got the stop. You weren't stopping him all night. He got the stop to get you back in. You would have had it too. Boom. Then you have to get them down. They're not. It's not. Shot clock's not going to match up. You're going to have, what, like 18 seconds to get a shot off to tie it?
Mm-hmm. Oh. That's if he doesn't make the 3.
Yeah, but it's a different possession.
No.
It is.
Oh, and they've proven in other possessions that they can stop that dude?
No, dude, but it's different.
I don't.
Squeaky cheeks.
I don't think here. At that point in the game, your defense need to be on red alert. And they still gave up a 3.
It was dead alert.
So what I thought was it didn't matter what Tyler did. You still gave up a 3.
Somebody says, Gonzalez says, Tyler wanted the full steal and ballsy 3 highlight. Yeah, but it's a ballsy highlight to cut it to 2. Nobody goes back and watches that on TikTok.
Yeah, they only watched the 3.
No, you only watch it if it ties or wins the game. That's when you watch that 3.
Oh, you don't watch the 3 down 5.
Who watches that?
Dude, you are a bleeping liar.
I'm not a liar.
If Tyler had made that 3, you would have came up in here and talk about wheelbarrow.
I would have said wheelbarrow for sure, but I would have said reckless wheelbarrow.
The whole point that they're making is you're making this amazing make or miss thing.
No, because again, you're going to need 2 eventually anyway.
Yeah.
This is not again.
So what do you say to what I'm saying? That if he would have taken the 2,
I don't think they tried in that spot, dude. Like when you're saying they come back and Buzelis hits the 3, I think when he misses the 3, they're all like, it's over. Like you saw everybody's effort on that. Come on.
Okay.
Like it was over. Once he misses that 3, you got the play you needed, and he decided to go Leroy Jenkins on you. Like, sorry, but he did. And once he does that, like no one's after it anymore.
All right.
He made a great play. He made a great play to set that up.
I mean,
and he wasted it.
Here's what I would imagine if I was him. Here's what I was thinking. This is a bonus possession.
Yes, which you should take with 2 points. You're right. It was found money.
Can I just say this? This might be one of the more interesting conversations that we've had because for all of our lives together, I've been you and you want to take big hacks. And in this situation, we have flipped.
There's no such thing as a big hack like that in that spot. Because
okay, whether he makes a 3 or a 2, you're in the same boat.
No.
Really?
It's 100. Okay, here's the thing.
Don't make assumptions. It is
A
what it is.
3-pointer from Tyler Herro is a 36% shot.
Mhm.
He gave up 100% shot.
No, I'm
100% at 2 points.
Here's what I'm saying. I am saying that whether he makes a 3 or a 2, the game is in the same situation. You need a 1 score. Okay? What killed it? I would be more in agreement with how you feel about Tyler if they had missed and then the Heat get another opportunity. The fact that they gave up a 3, it didn't matter what happened.
But they gave up the 3 because he shot a stupid 3. And they're like, oh, great, Tyler. And that's why he went back to me. My bad.
Okay.
Tip of the cap.
Okay.
And you started the show agreeing with me.
Mm.
I don't know where you flipped all of a sudden.
I don't know. I would say this.
Hmm?
I have more facial hair than you've had. I have more
That's
facial
so
hair on my face
random.
right now
Uh-huh.
than you've had in your life.
It's not true. I just shaved like right before the show today.
No, you did.
I did.
No, you did.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How come you never had a razor cut?
Because I'm smooth.
Yeah, like no
Steady
hair.
hand.
No hair smooth.
Steady.
It has nothing
No,
to do.
steady hand.
Dude, I'm looking at your chin.
What?
You got a couple trouble spots.
I don't have any trouble spots.
You do.
I have no trouble spots.
You do. You do. That razor gliding up under there. Look at that.
Yeah, see? Same thing.
You can't do that. Look, I can do it.
Can you guys not?
Oh, you're going to do your hair?
Listen, you bullied me this break.
No, I didn't.
You did.
Schmeathan says, which one of the chins are you looking at?
The one that could get caught by that razor.
Oh, man. We'll take a break. When we come back, Jim Bleepin Miller, all-time UFC winner, a legend. He's going to be fighting at UFC 314 at the Kaseya Center on Saturday. He joins us next. Joining us here, huh? Yeah, 560 WQAM. Hey, if you guys want to go to Marlins Nationals Bark at the Park this Sunday, JFig and Scoob are giving away some tickets right now. Even though JFig was just rats off the show. Where'd you go, JFig? Gave away. What caller you want for you and Scooby's tickets?
Caller number 4.
Caller 4 right now to 305-567-0560. You get a 4-pack of tickets to Marlins and Nationals Bark at the Park this Sunday, where you guys will get to bring your 4-legged furry friends and a Scooby-Doo jersey, along with Marlins, who are playing kind of good. That should be their slogan. Hey, we're playing kind of good. Marlins baseball. Plus, I think Sandman's back this week. I don't know if he's pitching Sunday, but you get to bring your furry friends. And who doesn't want to do that? Caller 4 now, 305-567-0560. Wins a 4-pack of tickets to Marlins and Nationals. Also in town, UFC 314 going down Saturday at the Kaseya Center. Jim Bleepin Miller, the all-time wins record holder in UFC history, is going to be fighting Chase Hooper. He joined us a little earlier on. Here was Jim Miller on the program. Oh, look at this. We got a legend joining us here, huh? A legend joining us here. You're going to see him at UFC 314. Jim, well, I can't say, we're on the radio, Jim, so I can't say your full name, unfortunately, today. But join us here on the Toyota of Hollywood guest line. Shop 2,000 Toyotas online, on sale at one location, Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan, and toyotaofhollywood.com. Jim Miller, an absolute UFC legend. Thanks for the time, man. Really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me on, guys.
You're taking on this kid Chase Hooper. We had him back when he was 19 fighting on the regional scene here, Jim. Like, does it make you like? Do you like this scenario of taking on the young whippersnappers? Does it make you feel old, or do you like teaching them a thing or two?
Being old makes me feel old. I've been doing this for a long time. I've essentially averaged 3 fights a year in the UFC for whatever it is now, 16 going on 17 years. So, I've been like living in that crucible that is like fight camp, essentially my entire adult life. So, I don't have to fight 25-year-olds or anybody younger to feel it at this point. But yeah, like Chase he's a young up and comer. He's a stud. It gets me excited because I have seen him fight for a while now. And, I've been a fan of his for a bit.
Jim, is this one of these situations like you've been around forever and UFC says, you know what? If this guy's legit, he's got to get through Jim. You like kind of like the gatekeeper of like UFC and your division simply because, you've been at it so long.
Maybe like the term gatekeeper, honestly, in MMA kind of gets thrown around as like a little bit of a not a compliment, right?
Oh no.
But it honestly, it's like, hey, I'm here to fight. And I have fought a lot of guys that went on to fight for the title and guys that became champ and guys that were former champ and stuff. So like I've fought a who's who and it's really just about, like, for me, it's just about the fight. Like I don't really look at it any other way than that. Like, my job Saturday night is to go out and to win in a way that makes me happy, which is violent and dominant. And, like there's not a picture of me in the octagon after winning a decision where I'm happy, and that's just who I am. So like, yeah, like the goal has always been to go out and win the way that I get pumped for it. But yeah, like if these guys want to get through to the top of the division, they have to fight their way up. And I'm here, so it's bound to happen.
But the thing that's incredible about you, Jim, is like a lot of times we see when things happen with guys in your sport and it gets to the fall off, like usually it's like you go to the Wikipedia, there's a lot of red there. Mm-hmm. I'm so impressed by not only the activity that you keep every single year, but you're still winning, man. Like you're submitting guys months ago. Like, how do you stay sharp like that? Because normally we see, like, once it seems like it starts falling off for a UFC fighter, like it's hard for them to get back in the mindset of just getting a win.
Yeah, I don't know if we have the time to get into all of it, right? Like there's a lot of things that have helped me, extend my career. And honestly, I feel like it's been some of the bad stuff, right? I was diagnosed with Lyme disease in 2016. I believe that I was bit. I had my first symptoms in 2013. So I went about 2.5 years, pushing 3 years, with it undiagnosed, and the symptoms beat the tar out of me, and I felt like it was, hey, I've been a professional fighter for a decade, fighting the best in the world. This is what I'm supposed to feel like, and I kind of just pushed it to the side, and I was like, this is my body just telling me I've been going too hard. And when I was diagnosed, I not that I had a bad lifestyle to begin with, I just really started focusing on those things that were going to make me better, through the Lyme disease while I was still competing. And honestly, I think taking that type of approach really has been one of those things that added to my career. I started making a lot of those decisions. I mean, food quality is one of those things that now in 2025 everybody talks about. I was doing that 10 years ago, because I had to. I was forced to. It wasn't just a choice. It was like, so I could survive, so I could continue doing what I love to do and support my family. So like I was pushed to make these decisions that were going to just get me through those hard times, but they ended up helping with that longevity.
What is it about Chase? Like, what are the things that you focus on? Because obviously, the guy's been grappling since he was like a toddler. You're obviously one of the best to do it. So, are there things that even like with all your knowledge, like he's just maybe not even be prone to, just because you have miles and miles of experience in the octagon with it?
Yeah, you know what? He is a tough dude, and he's got that like kind of newer age style of grappling, right? It's like it's very flowy. It's very like you don't push back. I come from my black belt I got under Jamie Cruz, who was known for his pressure game. And he is a Renzo Gracie black belt, and one of Renzo's, one of his first, I believe, in his top 10, or first 10. So I come from that like more traditional, heavy grinding style of jiu-jitsu, and honestly, I've learned a lot of the new stuff because you have to adapt, you have to change, but you also have to play to your strengths in the fight. So I know what my strengths are, and I feel like it's a good matchup. But yeah, he's tricky. He's very flexible. He throws up his legs from positions where there are a lot of guys that can't do that type of stuff, and myself being one of them. I can't throw my ankles behind my ears, and it looks like he can do that type of stuff. So he's very aggressive. He's throwing punches in every position. Like I said before, like I'm a fan of his. I like watching him fight. So it's nutty to think of that, like, hey, like he turned 9 years old when I signed with the UFC, right? Like it's pretty crazy, right? He is a talented grappler, but I was a black belt fighting the best in the world when he was in like the 5th grade, so like he's training those crazy, what the heck, those little rubber bands that, like, they were like big in the 2010 era, right? Like, and I was a black belt fighting the best in the world. So experience is a tool, it's a weapon. I've made it my mission this entire time. Every time out there, win or lose, I'm trying to learn something new. I'm trying to pick up something. There are always mistakes. I've never had a perfect fight, and I don't believe I ever will. So like I've been a student of the game this whole time. So like, that experience and that mindset, I feel like carries me to win on Saturday.
Is there something like old school? Because we talk all the time in sports radio, like where Leroy's like the run game is lost in football. In basketball, there's too many threes. In baseball, no pitcher can go past 4 innings anymore. Is there something as like in the old school that you will not break on? You're like, I'm not learning this new confounded thing that everybody loves in mixed martial arts.
You know, it's not necessarily that I won't learn stuff, right? Particularly in like the jujitsu side, right? Everybody tries to like make everything their own, and it bugs the heck out of me that every position now has like 6 names, and some of them use like partial Japanese, and like you're always dealing with some Portuguese in there as well, and it's like because everybody wants to name something, a position, and I rag on my instructor all the time when he's just ripping out like, oh well, this is side saddle or the honey hole or the outside ashi and all that, and it's like they're all the same position. Just show me the position. I don't care about the name at this point. So the naming thing is really the biggest thing that bugs me. That I just don't care. I'll do the movement. I'll do the move. I'll work on it. I'll get as good as I can at it. If it fits into my game, I will make it part of my game. If it doesn't, I'll know it to defend it. But I don't care about the names.
He's like old school. He's not a fan of sampling either.
Yeah.
Come up with your own thing. Don't use somebody else's music and rebrand it.
Jim Miller, we can't wait to see you this weekend. UFC 314 is taking on Chase Hooper, a stacked card at the Kaseya Center. Go get your tickets now if you guys want to go see it right at the Heat's house, and of course available on ESPN Plus pay-per-view. Always a thrill, sir. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you for so much for having me, guys.
That is the all-time UFC wins leader, a bona fide legend.
I'll see y'all when I see y'all.
Midday Sports and Silly Sauce with Tobin and Leroy starting at 10 weekday mornings. Heat,